I just started.
Oh,
Yay,
it's in the
nonsense.
poop.
Why would you even look there?
That's an excellent question. That's the last place you would look. Sorry, folks. We're going to get going here in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to get my copy pasta on for our Tweety Tweets. There it is.
Internet.
And Burns listening right now, but he's currently occupied.
Occupado.
The guy at the pet store said these cats don't poop. And yet
they
here I
poop.
am.
Everywhere. You know where they don't poop? The litter box.
No, seriously. There's poop on my floor. The litter box is less than a foot next to it. It's
way too far away.
Yeah.
I don't want to go that far.
Maybe your cat's just a moron. Maybe he's not selfish. Maybe he's just stupid. So, when we last left off, Tom was at the headquarters, the main place of the followers of the Pure Heart. And Patrick and Al and Alicia finished with their meeting, which got a little heated with Proposition Cal and his crew. Prop Cal suggested, pretty much told the group that they should stay at their safe house. And I believe that's where we left off, with you guys going to the safe house to check that out. Is that a fair enough assumption?
Let's see. I think we had like a bit of
there's
time
something
before.
Okay, if there's something you want to do beforehand, feel free.
Yeah, actually, because there's something I completely forgot to do earlier. If we have time, I want to pick up like a first aid trauma kit thing for Al. I got all bedazzled. Yeah, I got all bedazzled by the cool magical medical stuff that I forgot all about everything else.
Okay. So you just want a basic first aid kit, a travel first aid kit?
Yes. If there's anything that has like the kind of items in the list I sent you, like not the fancy stuff that we already got, but like clamps or anything like that, special bandages, etc.
Okay. So you're directed to a place in South Tolkien. Wait, let me double check if it's South. Yeah, South Tolkien, called Expedition Expeditors Unlimited. That's able to sell that for you. I'll give you a brief description of the place. It's a business pretty much built like imagine a large 3-story building, except it's all made of logs, has a very frontier look to it. And their slogan and their personnel boast that they can arrange and supply expeditions for every adventurer imaginable. It also says that it can acquire almost any tech, weapon, or item one might desire. Now, this might be a bold marketing plan, but you are at the very least able, and they do have in stock, these personal first aid kits and then a trauma attachment to it. It will cost you 550 credits for such a kit. And I would like, Patrick, would you go along with Al to this quick little shopping stop, or no?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like both of you to roll me a D100. Patrick, I'd like to make yours easier, so minus 20 on it, please.
Okay.
I am not bad. Not great. Right in the middle.
this. Yeah, there you go.
So, Patrick, while you're shopping around with Al, you notice on the second floor, behind one of the main showcase areas, where there is a customer service individual, a salesperson helping people and bringing people through. The second floor is where you found this medical kit, by the way. Patrick, you are definitely the first to know a large painting behind this salesperson. The painting is black and white of what appears to be this old ringed fort in a very frontier style. And you realize you have seen that exact photo before, back in Perrin's post when you first met Dan Finger Perrin, and he had that picture hung up on the back of his wall. You recall mentioning to him and placing the time and impressing him with your knowledge of the area, and he mentioned that that painting was an inspiration to him building Perrin's post. Here it is, another copy, right there in this store.
Let's see. I do remember. As a player, I do remember the painting at Parents' Post and discussing it with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the specific significance of it.
It was just a
remember
pre-riffs drawing that he found. Yeah, there's no secret significance to it. It was just you were able to identify it to like its estimated date of the architecture.
Patrick would most likely tap Al on the shoulder and point it out to him.
Oh, that looks familiar. What is that?
It's a fort structure, very similar to Parents' Place.
Ah, I guess that's why it's familiar.
A little odd that they have similar pictures. Wonder how many copies of this is out there.
Al would think about it for a second and then go to the shopkeeper and be like, "Excuse me, sorry, I couldn't help but notice your painting there. It's very lovely."
Oh, the young gentleman says he looks to be in his mid to late 20s. Very well kept, very, very short hair, in a bit of an exotic style, in the fact that most of it is shaved right almost to the head where it's only really black stubble, with the exception of the bangs, which are fully grown and pushed off to one side behind his left ear. He gives a smile. He looks over and he goes, "Oh, yes, it's very nice. Unfortunately, I don't believe it's on sale. This is more of a decorative piece."
Al shakes his head and goes, "No, of course not. But do you know, or perhaps could I know where you got it from? This is the kind of dealer I'd be interested in."
Oh, he says, I honestly don't know. This has been standing behind me for the 2 years I've worked here. I've never really asked about it. I suppose I could inquire with the manager or the owner, since the owner is the one who of course decorated this place, but they're notoriously hard to get to. I could bring it up the chain, just ask some questions, and the next time you're in, maybe I'll have some answers for you. I'll educate myself.
Sure, as long as it's not too much trouble, I would like put up a hand.
He shrugs a little bit. He goes, No, that's okay. He says, I talk with the staff all the time. Maybe someone will know about it. He'll be curious. Maybe you won't be the first person who ever asks, right? Maybe in 2 more years, someone else will ask about it, and I'll impress them so much they'll buy more. Speaking of, can I bring that through for you?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
Wonderful. And bada boom, bada bing. Is it okay if we end that little scene there, sir?
I am good with it.
Okay. So the question is would you guys, do you choose to check into this safe house?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys a bit of a heads up. I'm going to take significant narrative control pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed us head towards a scene. I'm obviously going to switch between Patrick and Al and Tom. And before I go with each scene, I'll pause. I'll say, is there anything you guys want to do for the day or for the evening or something like that? And maybe we can narratively go over it. Or if there's a new scene that crops up, we'll deal with it. But I'm hoping, honestly, we can actually chuck through a few days here and really focus this session on really highlighted plot points and decision points for your characters. Is that okay by you guys?
It's fine by me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of gonna pick up the pace a little bit, so to speak. So we will have this next scene with you guys boarding your ship, your transportation that you have rented. You have you're able to locate the address on the map, which once again for our own reference is 357 Gears Roth Avenue, which is found on the western side of the city. I believe it's actually still highlighted there in red in our little map. Yep, it is. And it is the exterior of it. Give me a moment here. Let me just quickly check my notes. There we go. The exterior of the residence is wait, this is where I have it right. Oh, there we go. It is a squat, unassuming red and black bricked home. It has a single story to it as well. It has a simple front door painted in a fresh paint of black coat with a brass knob on the front of it. It has two large windows facing towards the street. Along the left-hand side, before it meets a fence, you can see another window looking out the east side of the street. Is it fair enough to say that you guys would check the door and try to enter?
Yeah.
Okay. And as you do so, as you enter the room, you come across a cream-colored painted hallway. And sure enough, that hallway goes down until you can see two rooms. One that looks like a small kitchen to your right. Another one looks like to be some sort of living space on the left that has a small fireplace, a large flat-screen TV, two couches, a reading chair, and sitting on a couch apiece seems to be two other individuals who take immediate notice when you enter. In fact, they begin to stand up. These individuals are as follows. One is clearly an orc DB who is wearing a blue shirt, brown worker pants that look pretty tattered, and a simple cream-colored jacket over top his blue shirt. He is a solid 7 feet tall. And in fact, he probably only has to reach up with his forearm to kind of touch the ceiling. A very burly fellow. And he has his piggish type face has two small tusks jutting out from his lower jaw. But he doesn't say anything. He defers over to the second person, who is female, a red-haired woman who clearly has a juicer system installed into her frame. She has red cropped short hair, and she seems to have, she does have a scar on her cheek and almost a matching scar on her neck, right underneath the scar on her cheek. She looks to both of you. She looks to the party that enters the group, and she says, "I take it you didn't just wander into the wrong spot. You were expected."
Yes, we were.
Okay. And the name of the person who told you about this place? Just so we can double check.
Proposition Cal.
Okay, she says, and she looks over to the big burly orc, who kind of just gives a grunt and a nod. And she says, "Cracker's there. Old Ralston doesn't do much talking. But I'm Kelly Phantom. And we're going to give you a quick tour and we're going to show you. We're going to tell you some of the rules about this place, and then we're going to leave you do your business. Okay?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. So follow me, and Crackers stays the orc she calls Crackers stays in the living room, kind of standing statuesque, while she takes you through this building. It is, like I said, one story. It has 4 bedrooms, 1 full bathroom, a half bathroom, a dining area, and a living area. The dining area is attached to the kitchen. There is a small backyard, but it is completely fenced off. In fact, large portions of the fence look like it's been new. A lot of boards have been replaced. Other than the general layout, which is modestly furnished, although this place is definitely more cramped than the safe house that you stayed at in Ishpeming. It does have one clear feature that Ishpeming safe house did not boast. And Kelly Phantom takes you over to the half bathroom. A half bathroom is a place that just has a toilet, a sink, and a shower. She goes over to the toilet, and she gestures for your eyes to follow. And instead of pushing the little plunger on the toilet down in order to flush, she grips a hold of it and pushes it back. And you can hear a grating thud. And with that, she effortlessly picks up the toilet and pushes it off to one side into where the shower is. And instead of just a hole in the ground, it is actually a large hole in the ground that leads to a ladder. She says that this is a hidden passageway underneath here in case you need to make a discreet exit. She says it goes down into the tunnel that connects with the sewer about 100 feet north of here. From there, from the sewer system, you can get up to the streets. She says, don't use this as your primary entrance and exit, but it's really handy in case if things get hairy for you. She replaces the toilet, slides it back into place, clicks the little plunger on the toilet. And she gestures for your group to join her and her orc companion back into the living room. She claps her hands together, and she looks at each of you, and she says, any questions of the place so far?
Yes.
Okay.
If we're going to use that exit and we won't want to be followed, how do we close it from the inside?
She says, there is a latch for you to close up, but unfortunately you won't be able to replace the toilet from down there. So you're going to have someone else who hangs back to replace it for you, or you're going to have to leave it where it is until you leave.
I see.
She says, sorry, it's not all that high tech, but we shift safe houses around a lot. This is the best that could be made in a short period of time. I hope you understand that.
It'll do fine. Thank you.
Okay. So now let's go with the rules. She says, it's real simple. No guests can visit here. This safe house is for you guys and you guys alone. The less people who know about it, the less trouble we get. Okay?
Patrick nods.
Secondly, our this thing that we do, market business, you don't do that here in the residence. You keep it clean. This is for living and styling, and you don't do any sort of business, nothing shady, nothing not shady, nothing working with us, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Do your best when you do go out and about. Try not to get followed. I'm under the impression, I've been told, that you guys have a little bit of heat on you, which is why you're in this fine place. So, if you do get followed and there's any hint of the police sniffing around, let us know. You know Prop Cal, he's probably the best person to talk to. He is a powerful fellow. He'll be able to help you out. So if we got to move you to another place, we'll do that. If we got to take care of the people who are sniffing around, we'll do that too. All right?
Okay.
And that's the rules. Think you can handle it?
I think we'll be able to, yes.
Okay. Well, all right. Come on, Crackers, she says. And as the lumbering orc follows behind her as she pushes past you guys, not aggressively, but she gets past you into the hallway, goes to the front door, and before she closes, she goes, "Oh, yeah, and thanks for your service," she says before she closes the door behind her.
That is by far probably the most polite black market juicer I have ever met in my life.
I don't think I've met a black market juicer.
Alicia nods to that.
Al
And
shrugs.
Blink gives a shrug. She's like, "I wouldn't know." She says, "She did seem, I guess, kind of professional in a sense." So with that, I'm going to pause there for a moment for you guys to get accustomed to your new digs. And Tom, I'm going to switch to you. And there is, I just want to give you a little bit more of a feel of the goings on. Wait, give me a moment here. Okay. Giving feel the goings on at this place that you're staying. Of course, you've already been shown to a room and whatnot, but you'll be here for about a day or so before this next little event that I'll be pinging you with. But more of a broad description. I already gave you a physical description of the place, but more of a description of the individuals who are around. You can estimate, with the exception of yourself and Edmund, every other individual here, with the exception of a few guests that come in and out of the place from time to time, but not very often, you estimate there's probably about 30 to 40 individuals who live and reside here. And you notice that all these individuals, whether they be DB or human, if they have any sort of hair or any other sort of obstructions on their head, it is removed or shaved off. They all typically wear the same clothes, the white flowing robes with the orange kind of scarves around their shoulders, with the exception of when the sun sets and until the sun rises the next day, they appear to have an evening set of clothes, which is nearly identical. It still has the orange cloth around it, but instead the robe is a stark midnight black in color. The place is well lit, both day in and day out, and eventually you do get used to the sound of the trickling waterfall just outside where you reside. The other brothers and sisters of the followers of the Pure Heart seem to participate in three major activities. The first is garden harvesting. They have both sand gardens that they create designs in the sand with rakes, kind of cultivating imaginary greenery, and they also tend the various vines and flora that are about this headquarters of theirs. The second task is clearly some form of calisthenics, physical stretches, aerobics, and what you can gather a very strange form of martial arts, but it's nothing that you have ever been trained in or seen anyone really fight in. It's very loose, very flowy, almost looks like something that would belong in a circus rather than on a combat field. And the last thing you notice that they do, and this is the vast majority of the time, is meditation. Sometimes individuals meditate in their own quarters. Sometimes they meditate around the fountain or in other areas, levels of the headquarters themselves. But you are informed either by the head brethren, Brother Colton himself, or by other passersby, or even perhaps spoken aside by Edmund himself, in case you aren't feeling particularly inquisitive. But you learn that they've taken a primary focus on meditation because of recent signs recent dreams, recent visions that a lot of individuals around Tolkien and Belong have been having. And since they believe in the cultivation of the spirit, and they believe that truth can be found within oneself, they're all meditating to get a better idea of what Edmund, or what the brothers and sisters of the followers of the pure heart call the great dangers. Unfortunately, they have not found much success. No new information compared to many other visions by very prominent psychic individuals within the community, but they're confident through their dedication and their cultivation of the spirit that they will find the truth before it is too late. For after all, a pure heart will always break through mystery. That is their philosophy at the very least. Do you have any questions about the followers of the pure heart that you found that you think your character would ask while he's staying there?
Well, a lot of the stuff that they've been doing is actually kind of neat, to be honest. I mean,
Okay.
Tom would be very intrigued by perhaps trying to meditate with them.
Okay. All right.
And
Sorry, keep going.
perhaps if there was a way to do all three things.
All right. Brother Colton is very warned by your inquisitive nature, and he mentions that is the first step of a part of the followers. And although your stay here is for a more specific point, there is no reason why you couldn't at least learn and indulge a little bit more of the philosophies and the goings-on. So he introduces you to a young acolyte, young woman named Michaela. And she is unique because she actually still has hair on her head. She has long brunette hair done up in a very tight braid that flows along her shoulders. And she herself is still learning. She has various rites to complete before she becomes a full acolyte. But she is overjoyed in this opportunity. She feels that the best way for her to understand the customs of the followers of the pure heart is to communicate them with someone else. And you tend to be she's very eager to help you out. So she will take, during your stay here, whenever you do have some downtime, when you have to stay hidden, so to speak, she will take you through each of these tasks and be a very, very, although she's slightly hesitant and she sometimes trips over her words, it turns out to be extremely patient and surprisingly knowledgeable for someone who isn't a full brother or a full sister of this particular group.
Cool.
So, if it's okay by you, and if it's okay by the rest of the group, this is going to be the point where my next scene that I have in mind to present to you guys is going to happen in the next day at noon, when Tom tunes into that broadcast, that radio signal that Bailey McFadden told him to tune into in order to communicate with the supernatural division herself. So before that scene happens, is there anything that either player would like to do, narratively speaking or roleplay speaking, before we move on to that phase?
I know I have things during the quote-unquote times, sort of like a time skip, but not really.
It is. It's a bit of a narrative fast forward, sure. If you even just want to refresh memory of what Patrick would kind of be doing during that time, I know you're still learning some spells from the spell book itself. In fact, if you don't mind, do you have written down what the spells that you still need to learn to be?
There's like 4 of them. I only remember the name of one off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, what's the one that?
I'm quite sure Patrick would not be studying that particular one.
Oh, he wouldn't? Okay, my bad then. All right. Do you want me to take a moment and look into my notes and remind you?
Yeah, I've been freaking penning through so much stuff trying to find that.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's what I keep my notes for, right? I'm not gonna be too upset over that. I just have to go to the Mars stuff. Mission to Mars. Here we go. Mission to Mars. Killian and the Entity. There's my notes. Killian, and having the canal line, last stitch. Oh, I guess it's in this one. Yes, other spells that can be so exorcism, which you already learned. There's tongues, there's leyline transmission, there's firebolt, and there's climb here. I'm gonna copy and paste it for you, both in the general chat and Roll20 and to you personally on Skype, so you have it on hand, okay?
Yes.
So I'm going to say, through your travel, because I know a lot of times you've been saying Patrick's been interested in looking in these books, and I think that between your travel from Ishpeming to this point, there has been enough downtime for you guys to learn, for you to learn either a level 2 or a level 4 spell. And it's already in your head right now.
Okay.
Sound fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have one in mind?
Actually, I'd like to see what the flip climb does, so I might just snack that one.
Well, then we'll pause for a moment while you look it up and browse through that, and while you do so, I'll ask Squee and Burn if there's anything they want to do before we move on to the next day.
No, not particularly. Al wouldn't be.
Don't feel like you have to.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
Well, I think it would be a good gesture to ask Edmund if he was fine, if he got burned or anything.
Soon after he arrives and he gets to low down, this is when he would be talking to you about that. And he says, well, to be honest, I was a little scared. Not because I didn't have any faith in you, but you have to understand, we did just most recently meet, and it was a very peculiar situation. Mm-hmm. No, I did not get burned, and I'm surprised by your control of your powers. I have heard stories of other fellow knights. In fact, my primary teacher who told me she had to actually deal battle with an individual who could summon and control flames. And it was one of the most harrowing challenges of her knighthood. Suffice to say, I had those tales in my head as I was surrounded by flame, but this place, this magical room, this magical home that is a part of this pack, he says, as he hands it back over to you, is astounding. Golden light everywhere. I don't suppose you could tell me where you got something like this. It would be incredibly advantageous to a wandering adventurer, a person who travels from place to place, such as myself.
Well, that's not for me to discuss, because this is the Patrick, my inquisitive friend.
I see.
The smart one. This is his. And he got this from a few friends of his.
I see. Well, perhaps when everything is finished and justice has prevailed and we are able to meet once again with your friends as ourselves, I can bring up that question once more.
Sounds good.
Good.
But I'm actually really glad that I didn't accidentally harm you in any way.
He gives a slightly nervous laugh and he says, "Oh, there was a doubt."
No, there was very little doubt, but there was a chance. I've tried very hard to try and focus my powers.
See, well, I admire focus, and I'm standing here because of it. And by the seams of things, I'm not too sure. We'll have to wait to hear from Miss McFadden and your other compatriots. But it seems to me that things are going as planned. And this is a promising start to our long journey ahead, don't you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. Anything else there, Tommy Tom Tom?
No, I think that's it.
Okay. You get accustomed with the climb spell, Piph.
Yes.
Okay, so have you decided which level 2 or 4 spell you want to have in Patrick's noggin at this point in time?
The climb spell.
Boom! All right, consider yourself climbed. So, Monsieur Piffikins, is there anything else you would like Patrick to do or say during this small time skip?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. Then I will move on to the next day. Okay? So, this day is going to be centered on Tom. Tom, is it fair to assume that you are going to tune in exactly at noon at that radio frequency that was given to you in order to contact Bailey McFadden?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you do so in the as obviously you do so on your personal radio, you hear her crisp voice, and you soon learn in this conversation that Brother Colton is also on the line. Bailey says that the utmost priority, now that the first phase is done, and people believe that Edmund has perished and you are arrested and currently sitting in a prison cell, now we need to establish contact with your friends, the ones who are gathering information and getting the trust of this black market. Unfortunately, we do not, even if we knew exactly where they were, we could not approach them as police officers. It would be far too risky and would blow their cover. We could risk an undercover agent. However, this small partnership and help from you, Brother Colton, and the followers of the Pure Heart gives us a unique opportunity. Brother Colton, would it be very difficult to assist Tom in donning a new illusionary guise temporarily? In which Brother Colton replies, not at all. As long as he does not call too much attention to himself and obeys the specific movements of our ritual, I don't see any problem. Bailey McFadden then says to you, Tom, over the radio, would you be comfortable in having an illusion spell cast over you?
Sure.
Okay. Then this is what I propose you do. After we're done our small meeting here, find Brother Colton, and he and the fellow brothers, sisters, and Colton gives a chuckle and he said, yes, niece, will assist you in donning some sort of illusion so you don't look like yourself. You yourself know best on where to find your friends, correct? Where they might be hiding, where they might be staying?
I have a few ideas. It depends on what the black market guys decided to do.
I see. Well, we will trust you in doing your utmost to try to make contact with them. When you make, if and hopefully when you make contact with them, let them know this same frequency in which to tune in at 12 o'clock sharp, so all our meetings from here on out, we can all be in crisp communication every single day. In addition, try to learn and pass on any other relevant information you feel that they know, and a system of sharing information with us without arousing the black market suspicions. Can you do this for us, Tom? I mean, not Tom. She's saying Andrew the entire time because I'm a
Okay.
fucking idiot.
I'll try. I'll try my damnedest.
All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate it. This communication line will be absolutely necessary in order to coordinate any future operations. So with that, although that wasn't a 5-minute conversation, the radio broadcast ends, and sure enough, you're able to meet with Brother Colton. He takes you down to the first level and from the warehouse, and he takes one of the little silver-hearted medallions from the arms of that big bronze statue of that billowy, big-bellied brass man. And he puts it over your shoulders, and he gives your shoulder a little encouraging squeeze. And he says, when my brothers and I convene around the waterfall in a few minutes, we will focus our energies and our powers and our minds into a crystal clear picture of what you will to become. When you see the water begin to change color, close your eyes, take a single breath, and step through from the back of the waterfall through the front in a single fluid motion. Do you have any doubt or concerns about this?
So I take a breath and I hold it.
Yes. Do not exhale until you are completely past the threshold of the waterfall.
Okay.
Good. And sure enough, a few minutes later, other bald brothers and sisters in their now white and orange robes begin to assemble around the waterfall. You see them place their hands upon the water, concentrating on it as you begin to move back behind the waterfall itself. Sure enough, as you wait there, a few more seconds pass, and sure enough, from the base of the waterfall, floating up beyond you, exactly the opposite direction in which the water itself trickles down, begins to go from its clear crystal transparency to a dark black. What do you do?
He will take a deep breath, hold it, close his eyes, and walk through.
Okay. As you walk through, from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, you expect to get rather wet, after all. But you don't. Instead, you feel this tingling sensation. Bern, have you ever accidentally shocked yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now, by the sounds of your reaction, it sounded like it was a very big jolting shock.
Yeah.
Imagine a shock like that, but much less painful. You still get that buzzing feel, but not the pain part of it. Does that make any sense?
That does make sense.
Okay, because that is the sensation that you feel right now. A complete buzz through the top of your body to the tip of your toes as you step through. And as you go past the threshold of the waterfall, you finally feel the first bit of wetness on your feet as you step through the shallow pool of water that collects underneath the waterfall. And as you step aside, you can see the brothers and sisters looking at you with their bald heads, giving a very pleased smile. And Brother Colton in particular says, "You did just fine, Mr. Brown. You look completely different. Although I must remind you that this particular incantation that we used only lasts for 12 hours. Do not worry. The one that was used to the guise of yourself in that jail cell will last for much, much, much longer. But that is due to the practiced nature of our fellow sister who took your place. You are not familiar with our rites, our meditations, and so because of that, this illusion will last for not as long. But I trust As long as you are back into this safe place, 12 hours from now, no one will know any the wiser. That medallion that hangs around your neck prevents the detection of magical energies. So even those who are sensitive, unless they are extremely, extremely powerful, will not detect a single thing. And with that, he'll take you over to the edge of the pool and encourage you to look down in the reflective water below. Do you do so?
Yeah.
And you definitely see a face that is not your own. You are now have much, much darker pigmentation, similar to that of an individual of Southeast Asian descent. You have black hair that is very, very curly, cropped short, a large flat nose, a wide mouth, a very strong jaw. You also look like you've put on a good solid 40 pounds as well, although much of that poundage is illusionary muscle. The clothes that you wear are very simple, a dress shirt and a pair of black slacks with brown polished shoes as well. So, with that in your new guise, where do you want to go looking for the party?
Well, before I actually go anywhere, I'm going to take off my
Sure.
gold bracelet and hand it to the uncle.
Brother Colton,
Yes.
the head fellow?
Yeah.
And he goes, yes, I will keep this in your room for you.
Thank you. So the first place that I want to go, well, let's go over to. Remember when we got those hoagies?
Yes,
Yeah.
the confident heart. Yes.
Yeah. I want to head over there and see if they might be
Alright.
around there.
Okay. So this we're going to say you took a cab for this for the sake of simplicity. You took a cab over there. It was about a 20-minute drive. Okay. So this will be then just a little past noon during their lunch hour rush. You can see there are a lot of people in the place. A good little dance is going on. Some music's playing. Most of the booths are full. There are many hoagies and other soups and stews and sandwiches and salads that are being served. Woman, that short, squat, rough-voiced woman, Georgette Collette, is behind the bar. She's busy serving everyone. She gives you a wave and she says, "I'll be right with you in a moment there, sweetheart," she says. But it only takes you a few minutes to scan the faces of everyone around, and you do not see anyone that you recognize. Although you do see Mila's big, happy, mustard and mayonnaise splattered face hanging on the wall
That's great.
by the other record holders.
Tom will go, no worries. I was trying to find some people, some of my friends, and I think they moved on to the next place. So
She says, "Oh, okay, well, bring them back here if they ever get bored."
all right, we'll
calls
do.
out in the middle of serving a fellow in a cowboy hat a big serving, a giant beef hoagie.
Tom will then exit, and how many? I know we didn't actually specify, but how many of those camping sites did we used to go to for the yacht?
We didn't specify at all.
Yeah.
Camping sites overnight. We're going to. You're going to have to be a little bit at my mercy of my memory.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So we're not talking about places where you just park so you could visit other places. You're talking about places where you could park your vehicle and stay overnight, right?
Yeah. Because what time is it right now?
It is probably just a 1:45.
1:45. Then they probably wouldn't be there. Damn. Because I'm trying to eventually maybe go to the safe house, but I don't want to metagame and go
but you
want
want to rule out everything else. Okay,
Yeah.
well, tell you what. And you know what? bonus XP for really trying hard not to metagame.
Okay.
But let's be honest. You're going to totally want to go there because that's where they are. Both I know it, both you know it, and it's both fair to say that eventually, after you expend all other routes, you will end up there.
Mm-hmm.
So how about we just narratively go over the places that you're going to check out, find out that they're not there, and eventually you are going. And our next scene will be you showing up at the safe house. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
I think the first place I would highlight next is where Patrick was getting the egg thing done.
Oh, okay. That's a really good idea. Yeah. Let me double check the name. Cyclomatics. That's right. Oh my goodness. Oh shit. No. I might have deleted something really important.
Oh no. That's not good.
Fuck. Oh no, Inferno, you idiot. No, that's okay. I'm gonna just have to re-listen to last session and I know the names of Ziggy and I know the names of his dad, but I forget their last name and I forget the names of the twins.
Right.
And I said them. So for some reason, when I was making this document, I was supposed to make a new document and copy and paste some names. Instead, I just overwrite the old document and I deleted their names. I'm a fucking idiot, but that's okay. That's what recordings are for. I will do my own grunt work. But you check there, they're not there. You probably check the campsites. No luck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any other place that you would check before the safe house, do you think?
Browsing around the gem store. Do you remember the gem store?
Okay, fair enough. I made up the gem store. I do remember it. No, you're good. You're good. No, you do not find them there either.
Okay.
So you definitely would probably check the safe house next, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to say with you taxiing around town, which, by the way, would unfortunately they didn't give you a petty cash fund, so that's going to cost about 200 credits on your own to drive around these places.
Yeah.
But you manage to go to what you believe is the address. The cabbie drops you off there. You didn't see the ship nearby, but that's no surprise considering this is a residential area and the closest thing to a parking area would be at least 4 or 5 blocks away. But here you are in a short, squat, black and red brick building with a black painted door with a bronze knob in front of you.
Okay.
Think maybe through one of the front windows you do see you see definitely a shadow move inside somewhere. It's a big one, and maybe it's Bear, maybe it's someone else.
He's not going to approach the house.
Okay.
Is there anywhere in the neighborhood nearby that has, like, a tree or something?
Yes. Don't know really what you're going for, so I'll describe the 3 closest trees.
Yeah.
Across the street, directly across the street, there's a large maple tree in the front of another brick building. To the neighbor to the west has what appears to be a small fern tree. The neighbor on the east seems to have a large pine tree to it in their backyard. The fern tree is in the front yard.
Yeah. I just want to possibly look less conspicuous, but sit in somebody's yard and kind of glance over at the house watching it.
Do you want to? Okay. You want to sit in their yard?
Or something like that.
No. You can sit in their yard. I just want to make sure I hear that right.
I want to find somewhere where I could be that's not in the middle of the street or on a sidewalk staring at the house. You know what I mean?
All right, so do you want to park yourself maybe across the street underneath the big maple tree?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to have you do that. Now we're going to do something that I did not expect, which is par for the fucking course.
Yeah.
So this is what's going to happen. Patrick and Al, we're going to have 3 numbers, okay? We're gonna roll D1. No, wait. Let's make it easier. A D6. We'll roll a D6. Okay. I'm gonna pick 2 numbers. Al, you're gonna pick 2 numbers, and Patrick, you're gonna pick 2 numbers. And whoever gets their number is the first one who stumbled upon across this strange, dark-skinned man sitting across the way. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Pip, because guess what I'm going to be? I'm not going to be either Al or Tom, and I'm not going to be one of the usual NPCs. I'm going to be someone else.
Yep.
But what number do you want, Piph? Numbers. 2 numbers do you want?
I would like 1
Uh-huh.
and 5.
Okay. Al?
I would like my favorite number 6.
Uh-huh.
And 10.
No, Squee. D6, you motherfucker.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were being facetious. I'm sorry.
No,
I think my brain went because it's almost always picking in between 1 and 10. So
Yeah,
my
no,
brain
but
just
this
kind of
is D6.
All right, so
6
6 and then 2.
Okay, so I'll get 3 and 4. All right, I'm gonna roll. All right. 6. Al.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to take complete control over you. Do you want to come up with something that you think Al would be doing, both by either a window or going outside for a little bit or checking things out, in which you would see across the street and have someone across the street see you?
Sure.
Okay.
I
can take a moment or two and collect yourself and think of something.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be anything super exciting. It can be mundane.
Al's going to I would say every periodically he would make like a circuit around the house, but he'd do it very casually.
Okay.
As if actually, well, here's a very good question. I mean,
Okay.
there's cigarettes and wrists, right?
Yeah, in fact, but they call them cigs. At least in Tolkien, they call them sig sticks.
Okay.
Cal was smoking one of them.
Al would, if you permit him, pick up some sig sticks and use them simply as a cover to go outside once in a while and look around, but under the guise that he's smoking.
And pretend to smoking. Okay, I like that. Yeah, you would be able to pick one up at any point, really, in the campaign. Not in the campaign, when you were in Tolkien. Maybe when you were picking up that medical kit right after that meeting with Proposition Cal. Sure, no problem. Just take off 10 creds. 10 credits, 10 universal credits, and you got yourself a nice pack of sig sticks.
All right.
Okay. So, Tom... yes, Tom. I was going to call you Andrew again, but that's only the NPCs who don't know your real name because you lied to them. So many names in my head. All right.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I can handle it. Tom, you see emerging from the front door, Al. Clearly, he's taking out what appears to be a small white filtered object out from a pack and putting it in his mouth, and he's kind of looking around. And considering that Tom isn't hidden at all, Al, you see, as you're looking around, you do see something out of the ordinary. You see what appears to be a 30-ish man, very, very dark complexion, dark curly hair, in what appears to be kind of standard clothing, brown trousers, green shirt. Some shirt. He's kind of just resting under your neighbor's tree, kind of faced your direction.
Al,
he's now waving.
He was now waving. It's the black market. They're here to kill you.
Oh my God, what is Al going to do? Some strangers waving to him.
Oh no. Calamity upon calamities. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Are you serious? Think.
Well, no, because here's the thing. Al may have been expected to be contacted by, Tom, but not a complete stranger.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't metagame. Just think what I would do in this situation.
Al's gonna look at him and then go back inside the house and close the door. And then say, there's some stranger sitting across the street waving at me.
If you look outside the window, he's approaching the house now.
Okay. Well, Blink is looking out the window, and she says, well, maybe it's just a neighbor? He seems friendly enough. Oh.
Al gives Blink a doubtful look.
Blinks at you. In which Alicia says, well, I don't know. Should we just be careful? What do you think, Patrick?
He might have just misidentified you as an elf that he may have known.
Yeah, that's true. Bear nods his head a little bit. He goes, it is true. People assume I am another wolf, and they cannot distinguish between races sometimes.
Al nods and says, well, if that's the case, I should probably go tell him he's wrong and ask him to go away. We don't want visitors here, as the rules clearly state.
Blink nods.
Hey, Inferno?
Yeah?
Does the house have a doorbell?
Yes, it does. Next to the door is a small white button.
Ding dong!
I'm the GM. I say how it dings.
All right, I'm sorry.
Ding dong!
Such a different cadence to it.
Angrier.
Al will open the door with a pleasant smile, and he'll say, hello.
Hi. I think I've met you a couple times before. My name is Norton Big Hat, and he's going to hold his hand out with a big, huge smile.
Al's eyes will widen for a second. And then he will...
For the coalition!
He will. I think he'll recover himself fairly quickly. And he'll tentatively put a hand out and shake it, and he'll say, "I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever met you before."
No, I think we did. At least a few times.
Al will hesitate. Okay, give me a second to think here.
He's going to try and lean forward and whisper into your ear, "God damn it, I'll just play along."
Al will actually, as Tom begins to lean in, Al will actually put a hand on his chest, and he will say, "Look, my friend, who has been gracious enough to let us stay here, I'm on really good terms with him at the moment, but he doesn't like visitors. So, since I'd like to stay in his good graces, I think I'd like to ask you to leave."
Oh. Well, are you sure you don't want to, I don't know, maybe have a hoagie or something like that? I have some really important information that I need to get across to you. That's it. Just a moment of your time.
Give me a second to think again.
He did say hoagies.
No, I know. Al knows exactly what's going on. It's just
No. I'm just being. I'm being adored.
He's weighing the
Mila
risks
is
right
dancing
now.
excitedly beside you, giving you a big, hopeful hoagie look.
Al will you say that, and he'll sigh, and he'll go, "Fine, I guess free dinner's never a bad thing. Sure, lead the way."
All right. Then he'll start going back the way he came.
And Al will actually turn and almost exaggeratedly give a big shrug, like, "I don't know, but whatever," and start following.
So I'm going to say all the NPCs, including August, Alicia, Bear, Blink, are extremely curious about this turn of events too, that they're going to come along with. Patrick, you too?
Let's see. Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, if he thinks even the slightest that this is coalition, how would he react? Should he stay behind to get in contact with the black market for backup? Or would he think he's probably more competent on his own? Well, he saw the black market just shoot a couple of people on their own tickets, so yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So sure enough, the group, Al leading the way by a few feet, are kind of following you up onto the sidewalk by the street there, Tom.
Mm-hmm. And he'll start making his way down to the if there's any eating establishments nearby, he's gonna start making his way towards that.
Well, yeah, actually, by this 4 area, as I point, there is a little restaurant, a little cafe. It serves light lunch items and desserts.
Okay.
Like cakes and pies and stuff like that.
Then he will be making his way down there, and he will trying to keep pace with Al, like shoulder to shoulder, and kind of mutter, "I'm sorry things were awkward. I just wanted to make sure that we got out of that place because I'm not sure if Cal actually decided to surveil us or not. How are things going?"
Al will quietly say back, "Well, much like I said, we're in his good graces for now, though Patrick lost his camera."
He lost his camera?
Al will say quietly,
She's the closest one to Al, and she's gonna say, "Who the hell are you?"
It's me, honey.
She says, "Don't call me honey. Who the hell are you?"
Tom.
Tom?
Yeah,
She says,
it's an illusion spell that was cast upon me.
She says, "What did you give me as a present?"
You mean the fur coat? Or do you mean the ear? Wait, no, I didn't give you the. Never mind. The fur coat.
She says, "Okay, I know it's your Tom, but we're gonna come back on that second thing. But you got other things to worry about."
But we're on a break.
Al will look at Blink. Al will look at Blink, and he'd say, "There's only 2 people that would know the name Norton Big Hat. One of them would be Tom. The other one would be, well, coalition soldiers, but they don't tend to use silly nicknames."
You thought I was a coalition soldier?
No, Al says. "I said that was one of the 2 possibilities. The fact that I'm walking next to you would suggest that's not the case."
I'm actually kind of insulted. Anyways, this illusion is only going to last for a few more hours. I have to get back to my safe house, because they have a stand-in in the prison or jail for me.
Al nods and he says, "Well, not much to report. We're supposed to just hang out until he calls for us."
Good. Also, I'm supposed to be giving you this frequency that the cop lady wanted me to give you guys, so that we could, share information and all of that. I would recommend that you don't use it or talk with it inside of the house, because again, I don't know about surveillance, and I really don't want to encounter another situation like we had on the frickin' Rhapsody.
Al would nod.
At noon every day, this code will be used, and he'll rattle off the code, the radio code, and you, us, and everybody will be coordinating on how to deal with this. Essentially, that's the idea.
Al will nod again, and he'll say, "All right, well, we don't really know what to expect from here on out, so I guess we'll just play it by ear."
Okay.
And then, of course, they would go have hoagies.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hoagies.
Well,
Hoagies.
not specifically hoagies. I don't want to go to the black
Confident Heart.
marketplace. Yeah, I don't want to go there.
All right, if you want to break Mila's heart because you said hoagies and she got excited, but hey, Al would be all for not going there, but he's not going to be able to say
Mila
so.
Mila is extremely disappointed, but is later distracted by Bear and Alicia, who make her feel better.
Who took out keys and jangled them in front of her?
No. Bear started
just
humming
kidding.
a few bars to a song, and then Mila got really excited, started singing the entire song, and tried to make Alicia sing along with her, but Alicia doesn't feel like she has a very good singing voice. So there's that.
Okay.
That was the distraction. But suffice to say, all right. So with that, then, guys, with that connection made, is okay if I. Is there anything you guys want to say or communicate with each other while Tom is still incognito? Before we move on to the next scene, which is going to be the next day.
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
He'll just warn the guys again, be careful, and all that stuff. And then he'll make his way back after having a lunch dinner thing.
Okay. So I won't go over to lunch since it's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to say the bill for the group of you, it's going to come to 100 credits.
Okay.
Okay. So now, before I move on to the next scene on the next day, and this one is going to focus now on Al and Patrick and have their little scene, a little objective for them, for lack of a better word. Is there anything that you guys would want to do or role play between now and the next scene?
Nothing of note, because in the safe house, Al wouldn't risk doing anything of note.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Patrick?
I think he would still be studying the next spell to just pass the time.
Okay. All right. Good to know. And Tom?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. Sure, now if you get back in plenty of time and after a few more hours pass, the illusion does fall away from you. And the illusion is slightly peculiar. It doesn't just simply fade out of nothingness. You are suddenly soaked from head to foot, as if the water that you initially walked through finally hit your skin. Of course, the brothers and sisters of the Fellowship of the Pure Heart are able to give you ample change of clothes and towels and whatnot to dry off with.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah. So there you go. So, next scene. The next day. So this is day 3 of since the initial meeting. Early in the morning, Al, Patrick, it's going to be around 8:30 in the morning. I'll let you guys decide what you'll be doing, whether you'd be in your own rooms or in a shared room or having breakfast by the table. But feel free to insert yourselves into the scene as you wish. Because the front door opens. First, you see a pair of violet eyes quickly scan around. And after a sharp nod off behind her, you see the large, girthy strut of one Proposition Cal, who walks into the building as if he owns the place, saunters down the hallway, and sits himself down in a relaxed posture, one of the large black sofas nearby. Now, Al or Patrick or both of you, do you think you would be in the living room or the kitchen during this time?
Yes.
Yeah, Al would be in the living room. Sure.
Okay. And he gives a bit of a smile and he says, "So, how do you like the place?"
It's fits all our needs. Thank you.
No problem. It's what you paid for after all. Hey, and he looks over to Patrick and he gives a bit of a little grin and he points a finger over to you. Take any pictures lately?
No.
That's good. You're good people. I wouldn't want to kill you or anything like that. His smile quickly disappears and he says, "Listen, is that type of shit the thing that you guys did over in Ishpeming? That crew there?"
What, taking pictures?
Yeah, taking pictures, documenting stuff, making backups, bullshit like that.
Patrick
Not
looks over to Al. Do we do something Ishpeming?
no, not anything that you don't usually do. And he'll look back to Cal and he'll be like, I understand the complication it arose, but you have to understand Patrick's the type to just take pictures simply to take pictures for memory's sake.
Okay. Well, Patrick, he looks over, you're going to have to start changing your habits if you're going to be working with us. Because you know what pictures are? You know what video is? He's going to hang and let the question hang in the air for a moment.
Patrick is going to look a tad confused and actually take a brief moment to think precisely what his question meant, rhetorical, or if he doesn't want information.
And as you take a moment to think, Cal presses his lips together and he says, "Evidence. Evidence. This is a criminal fucking enterprise. The last thing we need is pictures of ourselves. The last thing we need is videotape of people listening in. All right? Now, a few years back, we thought it was nice and cute. It was a good idea, but that's done. Everything's face to face with no proof, no evidence. You know why? Because if it's my word versus yours and you become a problem, we can deal with that problem real quick, right?" Right. So, no pictures at all. I'm being real friendly with you. I understand you're not probably used to something like this. Things get done differently in Ishpeming when you're helping them out there. Things are different in the adventuring life. I get it. You're a curious guy. But this is where the curiosity stops. You got it there, Patty.
Patrick will start nodding, but quickly say, "Yes."
Good, he says as he runs a hand through his auburn ringlet hair. "So, I've come here not to just remind you of some of the rules or how we deal with shit, but to give you the heads up that me and my fellow associates are real impressed with your friend Tom there. He's really kept his mouth shut. We've heard some things, and the things that we're hearing is encouraging. So because of that, we're going to keep giving him a hand. And as a thank you for you guys dealing with our mutual problem." Yeah? Now, this brings me to my next point, he says as he raises his girthy self up to strut around the living room. In order to help your friend Tom, it actually kind of moves into the conversation we were just having, Patrick, about if the only evidence of something is a person, you can deal with that person real well, right? Well, the only thing that's stopping Tom from some serious jail time on murder charges or maybe even a fucking execution is one lone witness. And luckily, we found things out for him for you. His name is Angel Dominic. And we're really lucky for Angel. You know why? Because Angel's got himself a gambling problem. Sure enough, one of my men, actually, women, he looks over to Violet and gives her an appreciative smile, found out that he owes 5,000 T-creds. Now, you guys have been in Tolkien long enough to know that T-creds stands for the Tolkien credit system. He owes 50,000 T-creds to the loaners. Sorry, not the loaner. Yeah, the loaners. Which is another fucking outfit of a bunch of degenerate thugs and complete unprofessionals. Now, since this initially was your problem, or should I say your solution for us, I think it's only fair that you guys tie up the last loose end. This last little loose end. So my suggestion is to find him, to offer him a little sweet, or offer him a little sour. The sweet that you can offer him is real simple. We, our organization, the Black Market, we have an underground fistfight competition that's coming a few nights from now. And we're willing to gift Angel 10,000 credits. And you tell him to bet that 10,000 on a fighter called Bricktop. That game is fixed. And we can guarantee the payout's going to be so great, he'll have enough cash to pay back the loaners and enough left over to spend a little bit on himself. Now, most reasonable people are really going to want to take that sweet deal. But if he's stupid, if he's stubborn, if he's prideful, you're going to have to give him the sour. Do I have to tell you what the fucking sour is?
I'm not exactly familiar with this world, but I get the gist, yes.
Okay, good. The important thing is you get him to recant his testimony to the Tolkien police. Convince him to go in and said, I saw the wrong thing. It wasn't fire. I got confused with someone else. The guy that you got was just another witness. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I was scared. I was nervous. I wasn't thinking. You make sure he says that. Cal takes a card from his pocket and he hands it over to you. It's a simple laminated blue card that doesn't have a single word on it. He says, once you get that done, hands the cards over to Patrick with a smile. You're going to slide that card underneath my door in the middle of the night. Then I'll know the job's done. Once I know the job's done, you guys have all of a sudden become problem solvers. The evidence that they got on Tom is going to be nothing. The worst they got is that little gold band of his that he didn't get replaced. All that's going to show is that he used his supernatural powers when in an area he probably shouldn't have. He'll have to pay a big fine, but maybe we'll even help out with the big fine, you know? And in about a week or two, he'll be free. And he'll be join us, and you guys can reunite, as long as he keeps his mouth shut. That's the important thing. But he's shown his fortitude the past few days. And since you guys have not only become individuals who receive our very important package and are very important people, but then you become friends of mine. And friends of mine I treat very well. Maybe I'll invite you to my birthday party. He gives a bit of a laugh. So what do you say? Are you going to solve this problem for us?
Al looks to the others and is kind of quiet for a bit. And if there's no response...
Well, all honesty, I don't want to cloud up this role play with a bunch of NPC stuff.
Oh, I was thinking more of Patrick.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's looking at you with the same, trying to read you.
Got it. Al will nod and then say, okay, as long as you understand this isn't exactly what we're strong at, but I think that we could probably do it. I have a request, though.
Yeah. All right.
Well, it makes sense to me that if he is the only real witness, that it's possible that the police might be keeping an eye on him for just such a thing. Is there anything, a device, a way, something that we could do where we can make sure we can talk to him without anyone overhearing our conversation?
Nah, sorry, we don't keep surveillance devices in our crew. It's not something that we sell or deal in because it's too tempting for one of our associates or one of our members to start using it, to spy on their rival crew member, make sure they're doing okay. And then we got this whole fucking evidence problem, right?
Yes.
No. You'll have to figure it out on your own. It's real simple, though. He says this guy, he works at the Tolkien nursing home by St. Christopher's Hospital. He's a member of this St. Christopher Society, a bunch of do-goody healer types. He helps out with the elderly. A really low-key place, far away from the cop shop. You should be fine. Just be careful. I mean, you've been here, so if there's any sort of police tail on you, it's probably gone cold already. Just be smart and careful and to the point. I mean, after all you're going to be exchanging with him is words, right? You're either going to threaten him or you're going to give him a little bit of that sweet, right? Words aren't so bad. Just don't scream them.
Al nods and he goes, okay. I think we can do that.
Great. Well, hopefully I'll get something through my mail slot tonight, he says. Thanks. Well, I won't thank you just yet. You could fuck this up. He gives a bit of a grin. And he'll saunter his fat ass out through the hallway. Oh, wait.
Before he goes, Al will say,
yeah.
I was thinking, maybe as a measure of good faith from us, you do know that I am a doctor, and I do know that in your line of work, people acquire injuries that are sometimes difficult to explain at a local hospital.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck, that's more than right. Of course, some people get rushed off to the hospital before we can help them, but most of the time, yeah, we like to deal with our own.
If you need my services for anything while we're killing time, let me know.
Sure, he says. I appreciate the offer, but first, I want to make sure you guys are dependable, right? I mean, being a doctor is great, but dependable is more important, It's all about trust. I know Ishpeming can trust you, and I'm making sure that I can trust you, right? Especially in a hot jam. There's no better way to find out if someone's dependable when they got a lot of pressure put on them, Everyone's hunky-dory and kind when everything's fine, but, a little bit of pressure, he says, that really tests a man, right?
I have been learning, yes.
Good. So we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, we could become real good friends there, Al. Real good friends. We keep helping each other like this. You keep remembering the rules as he brings his gaze over to Patrick. And his gaze is not warm. All right. Anything else, he asks?
No.
Okay.
I think we'll get back to you after you receive that card.
Definitely. Well, you won't get to us. We'll get to you. Don't worry. I might make another house call. Or maybe Vi will. Or maybe one of my other crew. Either way. You'll hear from us. Don't you worry. And with that, he exits the building with his violet-eyed cohort. So, what would you guys like to do next? Now, it is early in the morning. You do have that noon call as well. So you'll be able to talk with Tom and Bailey McFadden and Brother Colton as well.
And what was the name of the detective?
Bailey McFadden.
Bailey
Lieutenant
McFadden.
Bailey McFadden.
I will try to remember that.
You can always write her down.
All right. I have nothing until noon.
Unless you guys want to handle this on your own
No,
beforehand?
no. Except to say that wherever we take the call, it would need to be out of the safe house. So we'd have to have a solid reason to not be there.
Okay. All right. You think you and Patrick can brainstorm up a reason?
Oh, I think simple enough. It's noon. There's probably not an extensive kitchen here, so we go out.
There is a kitchen, but it's not stocked with anything.
Right. So we go out and get food, preferably in a loud place.
Okie dokie.
You
go with this idea, Patrick? Are you alive, Patrick?
Patrick!
I
Is it
am
dis-
muted. Yes,
Okay.
I am. I am going to be going along with this idea.
Okay. You want a loud, rowdy restaurant. A bar or restaurant?
Let's go restaurant. It's too early to
Okay.
drink.
Give me a moment, please. Do 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 do. You doing okay there, Tommy Tom?
Yes.
We're gonna
I'm
get
doing
you in the
fine.
scene real quick with this phone call, so you're not gonna be on the sidelines for too much longer.
Hello, Al here. Al, it's Tom. Quick, there's an emergency. Ah, I'm just kidding. You reached Al's voicemail.
There's no voicemail on the Riffs. No one even has phones. That
Al's
kind of
Rift
requires
mail.
satellites, and we know what the deal with satellites is right now, don't we, children?
We probably
Oh,
know more
God.
than most people.
Yeah, actually, you do more than like you have firsthand knowledge, man. If certain governments could pick your brain, they'd find all sorts of interesting things.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of governments that want to do things with our brains.
And eat them. Nom 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 nom.
Emperor Prosek is a zombie. It
That would
explains
explain
so
a few
much.
things. That would.
Right.
Oh, there
You're
we
right,
go.
Emperor. You're so right.
He's not racist. He just wants brains.
Okay, sorry about that.
Mm.
Is this the solution to world hunger?
So, you look around. You're able to spend the morning or so, kind of looking around your cool little magical holographic type map that was given to you. Well, sold to you, really. And you hear in the melodic voice that strange Jordan DB, the Streetwise Dome. One day I went in here for a sandwich. It took me 3 hours. It was so busy. 0 out of 10 stars.
Oh my god, he's a Yelp reviewer now.
He doesn't
I'm-
say 0 out of 10 stars. That's too immersion breaking. But he does tell you the story about he went in for a sandwich. It took him 3 hours.
Okay.
That is pretty bad.
It is pretty bad.
He might also be exaggerating. You don't know. It's just a magic holograph.
No, I completely trust him. But we're gonna go there anyway.
Okay. Well, the good news is that it is just to the northeast of Pyramid Place. So it's actually in the quadrant. You don't actually have to go very far to go there. And sure enough, the Streetwise Dome is right bumped up against a main thoroughfare, and it is, surprisingly enough, a beautiful, majestic, domed building. This one is completely encased in stone. There doesn't seem to be a single window or outlet outside, but when you enter, it is lit by magical dancing lights everywhere. And that seems to be the big pull of this. Lights follow you, illuminate every path that you need to take. And sure enough, this seems to be one of the busiest places to dine. A lot of the crowd appears to be of the academic or business sort. They're all extremely well groomed, extremely well dressed. Many of them assortment of DBs and human beings, and elves and dwarves and more strange DB types. It takes you a solid half hour to get a table. But we can say that you anticipated this problem ahead of time, and by the time you were seated, it's just a few minutes before 12. Sound good?
Sure.
Mhm.
All right. So you're able to all tune in your radios at that time. And sure enough, Tom, on your end, you can definitely hear a lot of background noise, probably coming from Al and Patrick's radios, mostly due to the fact that when you talked, well, the place that you're in, Brother Colton, is a very tranquil place that doesn't have a lot of background noise other than the running waterfall. And Bailey McFadden has always called in from a very enclosed space too, by the sounds of it. But all of you tune in. And after you're done reporting in and confirming that everyone can hear each other, Bailey McFadden gives a big sigh of relief, and she says, I see that Tom was able to make contact with you. Great. Sorry, I see that Andrew was able to make contact with you. Great job, Mr. Brown. We're all now in communications. Can you
problem.
give us a brief lowdown so far, Al, Patrick, as to what is going on your end?
Well, so far we approached him as planned, and he is grateful that we have apparently taken care of a problem of his, and
Okay.
has said that as long as Tom keeps his mouth shut about, well, him, he will be willing to help out. He paid us a visit earlier today, saying that at the moment there's only one real witness on the case, a Mr. Oh gosh, sorry, I've already forgotten the name. I thought I remembered
That's
it.
okay. Angel.
Yeah.
His name is Angel Dominic, but you can just call him Angel.
Got it. A Mr. Angel Dominic, and has told us to either offer him something nice to keep him silent or threaten him to keep him silent. But wants to make sure we're the ones that do it to, I guess you could say, test our loyalty.
And make sure that you go down in flames with him in case it actually comes out.
Well, yes, that thought had crossed my mind too. I have another third plan that we could try.
I would like to hear that, Bailey says, because I did tell you not to break the law in any sort of witness tampering, even for a phony crime, would not go well. What's your third plan?
My third plan would simply be this. I don't trust Cal. I don't trust that he would trust that we're going to keep this guy silent. Given what I know of him, he's just as likely to kill Angel no matter what we do or how successful we are. My suggestion would be that we tell him to come to you to recant his witness, and then you put him in some sort of protective custody after a very public requital of his witness testimony. It can't really be considered breaking the law if you are fully aware and are protecting him, right?
There's only one problem with that. Sure, we could give him some sort of protection, I suppose, put him in a safe place, but he still needs to worry about going to work, right? We can't garnish his entire wages, and I don't think we have it in our budget to move him to another city, even if he was willing. But even assuming that we can do that, if he goes missing all of a sudden, what are you going to tell Cal? Are you going to tell him that you killed him?
Well, that could be an idea. That he was uncooperative.
Oh, so you made him
There's
disappear.
a better idea. There's
Yeah,
another
so
idea.
that we made him disappear and we potentially have the resources at our disposal.
Well, we may not even have to go that far. We make it out that we had to threaten him pretty badly in order to get him to do what he was supposed to do, and he was so spooked that he hightailed it on his own account. It wouldn't be such a far stretch that if someone was threatened badly enough and scared badly enough, they would do what you ask and then run.
Yeah.
There's
that
a
is
lot of
thing.
silence on Bailey McFadden's end, and she says, First, you'd have to convince him to move. And I don't think anywhere in Tolkien would be safe. He would have to at least go to one of the outlining areas.
Let me put it this way. The last time I dealt with a witness, I tried to heal their injuries, and Cal shot them in the head the second I left. Trust me when I tell you I am very motivated for this man to move.
Well, we're extremely motivated that... Of course, we're motivated that this person stays safe as well, Al. But you will still need to convince him by the sounds of it. But he will have to move. He must consent to it. We cannot force him to. And even then, I don't even know if I can get the budget for this. But I'll try on my end. At the very least, you convincing him to move and to do the right thing, at the very least, will make Cal think that you made him go away and you solved the problem.
If you can't get the budget for it, are there any other options? Tom, I'm not exactly sure where you are or what you're doing, but you had a pretty impressive illusion spell on you. Perhaps there's resources there?
Uh,
At this point, Brother Colton pipes up and says, we at the followers of the pure heart have very specific goals to offer as sanctuary and as advisors for the forces that wish to do right in the world. We can offer modest assistance, although truly most of our wealth is in knowledge and in spirituality. We have modest funds that perhaps I could help Miss McFadden with.
I would be grateful. Like I said, I think there's a 50-50 chance that Cal tries to take this guy out no matter what we do.
This is indeed possible. For those who stumble around in the dark will lash out at anything they can. The path of least resistance is the best way to go, and simply removing this poor man from the equation might be best.
Al kind of like unkeys the radio and looks at Patrick and kind of mouths, "Is this guy for real?"
You leave Tom's best friend alone.
It just looks like Patrick's thinking, but he then shortly goes, yes.
Al will nod slowly and then get back on the radio and say, well, are there any other suggestions?
Bailey says, with the exception of me getting authorization for you to do exactly what Cal wants, which is hopefully pay this man off and convince them that since he wasn't a witness to a real crime, you're not actually breaking any sort of law, and continuing the guys. Other than that, I see no other solution. In order to regain trust and to get more involved in this organization, you're going to have to make this Proposition Cal guy happy. So, I'll do my part. Brother Colton will do his. And between the two of us, we'll probably scrounge out enough for him to live comfortably for at least a short period of time. Of course, if we are ultimately successful, I imagine this Mr. Angel Dominic will be able to return to Tolkien without have fear of a reprisal once we bring the resolution down on this whole corrupt organization.
Actually, that reminds me. He owes a good sum of money to the bookkeepers of this town from gambling.
The bookkeepers? Do you
He
need a refresher, Squee?
Yeah, sorry.
They're called the Loaners,
The
but
Loaners,
not Loaner. L-O, like they're alone. The
Okay,
loners.
got it. He owes someone called, or some organization called the Loners, quite a bit of money. Do you know anything about them?
Bailey says, yeah, we've heard about the loners. They're typically street level. They're led by a guy called Broderick the Nightmare. They're in charge of extortion, a lot of hired muscle around here.
I see. That might help us convince him because, well, even if he doesn't run and we take out Cal, then he's still going to have to owe a lot of money to some people that sound pretty nasty.
Well, how much does he owe?
50,000 credits.
Well, we could maybe offer him enough to maybe want him to just go.
I think offering a chance for him to go and start somewhere else should be more than enough given how much he owes. But
yeah, given
knows?
that much, I mean, how much do you think? 200?
Wait, what? No, I'm just saying we tell him that we can offer him safety.
Oh. I was actually thinking of just going, hey, here's 200 grand, move.
Edmund gets on the radio and he says, you have that sort of financial backing. You could give him that much money?
It's up to the rest of the group.
Suppose we could. It would be difficult, and I don't think he'd need 200,000 credits. Why don't we just try and convince him and save that for last?
Yeah, that could work.
What kind of... Oh, go ahead, Patrick.
I will also like to inform the people who are not familiar with our group. Some of my companions are very frugal with our money. So large numbers like that is common, yet maybe a bit over what is necessary.
Brother Colton pipes up and he says, no amount of physical money is worth more than a human life, for that spark cannot be purchased. Do you not agree?
Yes.
Good.
I mean, I was just ballparking, but, I mean...
Detective, how much money do you think it would take to do what we're suggesting?
She says, this is just a broad estimate, but down in Mage Town, south of here, you can find a nice place and a living wage for about 60,000 credits. That will last him. He'd be able to rent a fine place and live comfortably for at least a year, maybe 2. But of course, you also have to factor in his debt. Although, if you simply agree to pay him a small that amount of money for him to leave, it would be convincing enough. He wouldn't have to worry about the loners at all, or Broderick the Nightmare.
All right, then how about this? You do everything you can to acquire the funds. If we issue the funds, we still don't know exactly how deep Cal's fingers go, and anything that we move is dangerous. But...
With all due respect, Al, we are mired a little bit in bureaucracy. Brother Colton, could you raise that much funds? And Brother Colton gives a small smile. He says, we could offer 20,000 from the coffers that we have here now, but more would require some specific fundraising. Bailey says, and I would need significant authorizations that could take upward towards a week. If your group has the funds, I suggest you pay them as best you can. Perhaps Tom could, if you're worried about the black market keeping an eye on you, perhaps Tom can, under a new illusionary guise, be the money person, handle your funds for you, in order outside prying eyes. And then myself and Brother Colton, once we're able to get the money together, will reimburse you.
Al would look at Patrick to judge his face.
I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean,
Patrick is thinking about it. He'll probably lean in. I'm unsure if reimbursement is entirely necessary, but I do appreciate the gesture.
Yeah, we can figure that part out later. All right, then let's do that and hope he doesn't do something stupid with that money.
Then, while we have a few remaining seconds here on the radio, shall you and Tom agree on a place to meet up so we can hand off the funds to you?
Let me think for a second. Al would say it might be safer if Tom simply meets Angel, should he agree to it, so that we're not seen meeting the same person too many times.
I see. So after you make the agreement with him, Tom delivers the money.
Something like that. Tom can meet him somewhere. If he's there, that means he agreed. If he's not, it means he didn't.
I see. Well, come up with a place and quick. The window's closing very fast.
Tom, do you remember the orcs in the front of town?
oh yeah, the strong guys.
Yeah, there.
Okay.
The strong guys. Perfect. And with that, as soon as you hear Tom say okay, the radio signal, the channel cuts off.
Neat.
So, this is what we'll do then. We'll it's a little two-parter that'll involve both of you guys, which will be really nice. Alan Patrick trying to convince this man to leave town, and Tom dropping off the money. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, we're once more in a narrative space now. You've finished your lunch. The tab is another 120 credits for the group to eat there. And I guess I'm going to just throw it to you, Tom and Al. You know this man works at a place near St. Christopher's Hospital, which is, give me a moment, it's actually a nursing home in the northern quadrant by St. Christopher's Hospital.
All right. Al will go meet him. Will Patrick be coming?
No.
Okay. The NPCs agree that if it's just one or two people talking with him, it'll probably be less. It'll acquire less attention. So unless Al really wants an NPC to come with, he can do this solo.
Sure.
I mean, clearly Patrick isn't interested in joining in.
No, Al can do it solo.
Okay.
Like Han.
Boom.
Right. So then he would. Well, here's a question. So he would leave his job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are the streets crowded or empty or?
Well, it depends on. Well, you don't know when he leaves his job.
Okay. Yes, I shouldn't get ahead of myself. So Al would stake out his job, probably go there and look for a place to wait.
All right. The nursing home is right directly to the south. Let me look over to. Actually, give me a moment here.
Oh, I should actually ask. Were we given a physical description of this guy?
No, you were not. Although, no, you were not given a physical description.
Yeah.
You were given a name.
Never mind. He's not going to find a place to stake out because that would do no good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's him. Maybe that's him.
Yeah,
Unless he wears
I
a
mean,
t-shirt
Tom
with
knows
his
what he
name on
looks
it.
like, but that's about it. You can't
Yeah.
get a hold of Tom now. So yeah, a bit of an added challenge. Yeah, he just gave you a name and where place this guy worked at.
All right, and he works at what is it? He works at it again?
It's a nursing home, St. Christopher's Nursing Home. I'm
Got
going to
it.
point it out here on the map here in a moment once I get a number. 15. Here it is. As I arrow it. Oh God, no! I'm moving the world now.
Well, that's usually a good thing.
It's in the south,
Oh.
right?
Nope, north.
North. Gotcha.
Whoop! Right here.
Got it. All right.
Number 15. So yeah, St. Christopher's Hospital is a long building, pure white stone. Very, very akin to the architecture of modern hospitals, although it is, well, if Patrick is here, he'd tell you it would be pre-risk architecture with new building materials. But directly across the way is a smaller building. It's also made of white stone. It's 2 stories and a very well topiaried placard in the front identifies it as a nursing home, and underneath it says, supported by the Society of St. Christopher.
Okay. Knowing that Al doesn't know what this guy looks like, he would look for a place nearby, maybe that he could get a sheet of paper and an envelope that you can seal.
Nearby?
If he has to go further, he'll have to. I mean, he basically he'll
Yeah.
need this. Yeah.
Okay, well, we can just say you stopped off and got it on your
Okay.
way there.
That's very generous of you.
7 credits. No, that's
okay.
fine.
Hang on, let me mark
Not
that.
gonna be that much of an asshole.
And basically, he's going to write on the note. I know you owe the wrong people a lot of money. I may have a way of helping with that. Meet me. And he's going to leave that part blank until he gets there and kind of looks around and sees if there's a good place like
What would you think a good place would be like?
someplace out in the open where either there's a lot of people around or there's not a lot of people, but there's nothing, like a park where it's really easy to spot if someone's just kind of standing there. One of those 2 places.
Just beyond the College of Magic, there are the exotic stables. That is a very popular area that has very wide open spaces. That fits those criteria pretty well.
Okay. Al will then say that. Meet me at the exotic stables when you get off work.
The other alternative is to meet him literally at the Tolkien airport because it's an airport.
Right. No, the stables are fine.
Okay.
And then he'll seal the envelope and then write Angel on the front of it. And then he will...
Probably his last name too, Dominic?
Yes, Angel Dominic, sorry. And he will approach the nursing home front desk.
Okay.
And he'll say, "Hi,
Young
sorry,
woman
this
with
is
a tall blonde hairdo looks up at you and she says, "Oh, hello. Are you here to visit someone?"
Well, no, actually, I have this note for a friend of mine, Angel Dominic. I was just supposed to drop this off for him.
Oh, okay. You know Angel?
Not for very long, but we hang out a bit.
I see. Roll me D100.
I'm trying to think. Do people say hanging out in Rifts?
I don't know. You're going to find out. Roll me D100.
Right? All right.
I'm just teasing. They do. It's fine.
Oh, well, maybe they don't.
She says, she gives a bit of a sigh and she says, "Listen, I'll do this for you once, but personal correspondence, we have a policy against personal correspondence. You should have just left this at his place," she says. "But I'll get it to him for now. Don't need to have you walk all this." And she starts mumbling to herself as she clearly puts it in an outgoing mail slot nearby her desk.
I will think for a second, and then he'll say, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make this difficult for you." And then he'll put his elbows on the desk and put his hand in his chin in his hands, and go, "How can I make it up to you?"
She sighs and she says, "Let me continue to do my job."
He will slap the counter and say, "Fair enough. Then I bid you a good day." And he'll give a flourishing bow and walk away.
You walk away so you don't see her reaction.
Mhm.
I'll spare your feelings. All you need to do was tip your fedora, milady, and you'd be all set. Okay, so with that, I guess now you're playing the waiting game, aren't you, by the exotic stables?
Yeah. Which I will take the time to explore the exotic stables.
Damn it. I mean,
should have chosen the airport.
No. We're good. So as you browse, you do have some time to browse the exotic stables. I didn't mean to say damn it. This is actually going to be kind of fun.
It's funnier that way.
It's going to be a little walk down memory lane for you.
Look, Inferno, it would be less of a campaign if you were always prepared for everything. So
I'm pretty prepared for this, in fact. Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So it is a large all-purpose facility. And interestingly enough, you notice that it boasts the best veterinary services in all of Tolkien. A very large portion of it is actually dedicated to horses, which aren't very exotic to you, but maybe to someone else.
Mhm.
However, I'll first talk about some of the exotic animals and then some of the clientele around there. So some of the exotic animals, two of which you recognize considerably well. One is a fury beetle. Actually, there's a mated pair of fury beetles that you overhear. Actually, you overhear an interesting conversation. One is clearly of a Psy Stalker. You're assuming he's a Psy Stalker because he is completely bald, hairless. He has dark rings around his eyes, and has a bit of a wild feel to him. And another fellow who is a Symvian monster rider, and they're arguing amongst themselves. And the Psy Stalker is trying to explain to the Symvian monster rider, who's speaking in broken English, how important it is that they get their two fury beetles to breed together, because then they can make more money selling the babies to the stable owners. Whereas the Symbian monster rider wants to keep the babies for himself and give them as a marriage gift to his mother-in-law who's getting remarried. It's a long, boring, heated conversation. Suffice to say, there's a couple of fury beetles rummaging around in these exotic stables that you see, and they aren't completely blown up.
Yeah, given Al's past, he has no interest in fury beetles.
Okay. Well, maybe I could interest you in a rhino buffalo that is currently being reared. It's a young rhino buffalo, in fact. You don't know exactly how young because you don't know animals very well, especially these exotic types. But it is definitely smaller than the one, and not robotic, you're assuming, that charged at you and threw you against the behemoth and got into your bay and you had to blow its face off. So not that. Now, there are quite a bit of animals that you don't recognize. There are various breeds of dinosaurs, all of them, for common reference, most of them herbivores, some brontosaurs, and the triceratops as well. There is also an Ostrosaurus, and what is actually, I guess you could say the prime feature is this brilliant manicured section of the exotic stables that has been reserved, and it harbors a Pegasus, a pure white horse with beautiful feathery wings attached to it. Its area is so unlike some of the other. It is perfectly tended and guarded, and you hear of various rumors that this is the personal mount of a very popular professor at the Tolkien School of Magic. Give me a moment. I'm getting her name.
Professor McGonagall.
No. Named Jasmine Stewart.
Ooh.
And this is her personal amount, apparently, that they keep there. And a lot of people come just to see it, and they marvel how beautiful it is and how elegant Javelin is and how she could have possibly gotten one and how well behaved and how intelligent it is. The whole thing. But that's the exotic stables for you in a pinch. And I'm going to give you some narrative leeway and say that you probably cased out the exotic stables before you wrote down where to meet him.
Yes, please.
So you could probably tell him in a certain area because it's very, very large, obviously.
Well, so I'm assuming from these descriptions you can't get very close to the animals. There's probably a lot of people there.
No, not only are there a lot of people, but it's extremely fenced off. Like rhino buffaloes, even though they're herbivores, dinosaurs, like these are wild animals that only professionals and their owners interact with. But a lot of people do come to sightsee and take some pictures of and to talk about. And the horses are a little bit more hands-on, but even then, not that much.
Would Al have seen horses before? I mean, commonly?
Of course.
Other than the one that dragged Mila down?
Of course. The coalition isn't always completely and utterly motor-sized. In fact, a lot of individual houses would have horses. Horses are extremely common. As beasts of burden and mounts in Russia. In fact, 99% of the population. No, not 99%. 80% of the population can afford a horse more than they can afford a car.
I see. Al would probably pick this is a tourist attraction, so I don't think there'd be any that are really like this, but the least impressive horse. He was gonna say sickly or old, but I don't think they would be.
Oh, great! She ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. Ain't what she used to be. Okay. I'll tell you what. There are some older horses, some older Clydesdale horses, which are used as draft horses, which are now kind of used as training horses. And there's an area for them. It's a good place for individuals who are like, these are old, well-trained horses, so they're really used to being around people. They have a lot of experience. So these are horses that are used for people who are learning to ride. So
yeah, then Al would spend his time there, just hanging out with the horses, telling them that he understands their plight.
Oh my God, fucking elves, man. So I'm going to speed things ahead a little bit, okay? 3 hours later, you see, of course, you're keeping an eye on the crowd, right? People are coming and going. There is one young man who appears out of place because he looks worried as hell. He looks like he's actually on the verge of tears almost. He's a black skin. I still hate saying the word black, even though it makes no sense to say African American.
Right.
Fuck it. I'm gonna just say African American. I don't care how stupid that is. It just makes me feel better. There you go. There's PC culture in a nutshell, right?
Right.
But sorry. Anyway, African American gentleman who he's well dressed, and he's kind of looking around, almost a little frantically. He definitely sticks out of place.
Al would wave over to him and try and be as non-threatening as possible.
He gives you a worried look, and he approaches you very carefully, very slowly, and he goes, "Who are you?"
Hang on, let me think for a second here. Yeah, he would say, I could be a friend. I believe you got a note.
Yeah, he says. I'll repeat again. Who the hell are you? What do you know my business? Do you work for the loaners? I told him, just give me another week. I'll come up with the cash, or at least enough for a down payment.
Al will hold up a hand and say, quietly, my friend, quietly.
No, I don't need to be quiet. I'm not your friend. I don't know who you are.
I'm not here. I don't work with the loaners. I'm here about something else, but I can help you with your problem. A few days ago, you were the witness of a altercation on the road, yes?
Altercation on the road. Yeah, if you're talking about that guy who got burned up, yeah.
Yeah.
What, are you a police officer? He
No.
says, and now he's keeping his voice a little bit lower at this.
Alice says, no, but the man who you are going to testify against has some powerful friends. They wanted me to convince you not to testify. However, these are not the kind of people who leave loose ends. You think you might have problems with the loaners, but if these guys want their man out of jail and you're the one standing in their way, well, it would not be healthy for you.
Oh, I see. He says.
I am not as cold-blooded as they tend to be. Here's the deal.
Let me guess. Shut up or they'll kill me, right?
Actually, I think they might try and kill you either way. As I said, they don't like to leave loose ends, but there is an option that could solve both of your problems. You owe a lot of money, and oh god, Inferno. It starts with a B. The leader, the Brexit or something. I'm sorry, Brexit.
His name is
guy.
Brexit Common Reference.
Yeah.
His name. I'm assuming you mean Broderick the Nightmare?
Broderick, thank you. Yes, Broderick. I would say, and Broderick's not the kind to go gentle. We could give you the resources needed to move outside the city for about a year or so to let things cool off on both sides. But in order to do so, you'll have to go to the police and tell them that you were mistaken, that you didn't see this guy. Once you do, my friends will help you get out of the city.
Who are you? And who are your friends? Who's this business that you're talking about? Why the hell should I trust you?
Al says... Al looks at the guy. Does he look scared? Does he look angry?
He looks fucking terrified and confused.
Al will sigh and say, believe it or not, I'm just a doctor. A doctor that made a deal with the guy and treated some of his people only to have him shoot them in the face. A guy who I find very scary and very terrifying, and that I am trying to stop from doing something that I abhor, which is cold-blooded murder. My friends that can help you get out of here are... And he kind of pauses. A detective.
So you are working with the police?
Not by choice per se, but because the alternatives are worse, yes. And I stress to you that the alternatives for you are even worse than for me. If this guy, who I'm 99% sure is black market, gets you, he will kill you. And even if he doesn't, I doubt very seriously you have the 50,000 credits you need.
Roll me a D100, make it easier by 20.
Okay. So 40.
Okay. All right. He says, yeah, I know. I'm over my head. I've been over my head for years now. You say you can get me out? My only question is this. I'm not stupid. People want favors. What do you want from me for this money? How much are you going to give me again? 60?
He 60,000, yes.
And all I gotta do is tell the cops that I made a mistake?
Be convincing.
They're not gonna be happy. Wait a second. You said you work with a detective. So, wait, the cops know that you're approaching me with this?
A cop. One cop. A detective.
So a cop wants me to tell the other cops that what I saw I didn't see.
Let me try and explain this as best I can, because the truth of the matter is, like I said, I'm a doctor. I'm not a spy. But if you want to take down an organization as powerful as the one I'm talking about, you can't be open about it, and you can't be obvious about it. If the entire police force was aware of what's going on here, how long do you think it would take for people like him to know about it?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. But what
Uh,
else? What do you want for this? 60,000 is a lot of money. All right, what is a year or two from now? You're gonna approach me again with another note where I work and say,
Al,
"Oh, here, now it's time to repay me the favor."
Al gets like an intense look in his eyes and he says, I want to survive. I'm a doctor. I don't do this kind of thing. But
You
helping
keep saying that,
helps
but to
me.
me, you're a stranger.
I get that. But helping you helps me. This guy, sooner or later, it's going to be the noose for me if he's not taken down. And if giving you 60,000 and getting you out of town for a year is what's needed to be done, then that's what I'm going to do.
He looks at you for a long time. He looks to the ground and he says, "So how am I going to get this money then?"
After you go to the cops and tell them that you were mistaken, near the front, no, it's the front of the west section, right? The east section.
Front of the eastern section, yeah. It's
Is there like a
in,
name for it, or
yes, it's called the Great Mall, the
Okay.
Grand Mall.
Have you ever been to the Grand Mall?
He looks at you with the expression of, "What are you, new?"
Al will nod as if he just answered, and he'll say, "There is a store or a shop run by orcs. You can hire them out for lifting and muscle manual labor. They'll have a sign up above their store made completely out of metal that'll say, I forget exactly what we've had.
Muscle
the sign.
for hire.
Muscle for hire. Oh,
He'll say
No,
it'll
that
be,
stupid elf shit.
he said it'll be made completely out of metal that says muscle for hire. There'll be a man in front of it. Meet him. He'll give you the money and instructions from there."
He gives a weak nod and he doesn't say anything else. He still looks scared, but he also looks defeated at this point. And after the nod, he begins to walk away out of the stables.
Al will watch him go until he's out of sight, and then he'll let out a breath and kind of slump a bit.
Okie dokie. So, to speed things along, Tom, I'm gonna move the scene in front of the Muscle for Hire shop where you've been waiting with the money out of your own account, your own, cred stick for
Yeah.
some time. Now, you do have to wait for quite some time.
Mhm.
You're in the same illusionary guise as you were the day previously. It was the same technique that the individuals at the Pure Heart, the same technique. We don't need to go over that again, right? You got a good 8 hours left on your illusion. When it's late in the day, it's just past dinner time, around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the evening. When you see a young African American man who you do recognize instantaneously as the man who witnessed your showdown with Edmund Ness, the Cyber Knight. And he looks around up at the sign and he looks to you, and he looks extremely flustered. And he says, "I'm Angel. Are you here to meet me?"
Yeah, I do believe so. Pretty sure it's you. So you already did the thing, talked to the dudes, right?
The cops were not happy. They threatened to charge me. They said that lying to the police were a crime. They were trying to sweat me out for a few hours, but I didn't say anything else. I just told them it was wrong. I was wrong that I didn't see what I thought I saw. It was a mistake. I was scared. And they eventually let me go. They told me not to leave the city, that they're going to follow up with me, but I don't think I have a choice anymore, do I?
Well, the good news is you'll be able to come back in like a year ish. So, I mean,
Yeah,
just think of
you
it as
sound
a
really
long
certain.
vacation.
Yeah. Or maybe even a longer nightmare, he says. So, I'm almost too terrified to ask. Maybe this is too good to be true. But do you have it? Do you have all the money?
Yeah. Out of character,
Uh-huh.
I have to ask something.
Okay.
I remember speaking on the radio about
Uh-huh.
200 grand.
Uh-huh.
Now, Tom was not at the meeting, so he doesn't know that it was changed to 60 grand.
No, you were on the radio when Al said, "How much money do you think we would need to Bailey?" And Bailey said 60,000 will get him set down in Magetown
Okay.
for
Okay.
a good year. Yeah, no.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
I'm not going to make the group overpay because of that. No,
Yeah.
no. No, you heard.
Then Tom will take out his cred chip and
Cred chip.
start transferring.
And he'll hand out his own as the chips connect and the transfer of digital funds continues on. The guy gets less dejected, and you can actually see as each roll of 10,000 credits turns to 20, turns to 30, turns to 40, he gets this hopeful look on his face, almost like it's too good to be true. When the 60,000 is transferred over, he says, "Holy shit, I thought this was a trap or something. I thought you were going to put a bullet in my head or get someone else to." And he kind of looks behind his shoulder. He goes, "This is mine. This is real. I can go."
Yeah, it's yours. Have fun. I would suggest the mage area, out of town. But we're trying to make sure that you are safe. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I guess. I don't understand anything. Your elf friend was talking about noose around his neck and how he was forced to do this and cops and I don't know, but it's starting to make a bit of sense now.
He's under a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
Yeah, well, I can sympathize with that. Here's a word to advice. Don't owe money to the loners.
Oh yeah, don't do that. That's a bad idea.
And with that, he gives that nervous laugh and he departs from you unless you
Well,
stop him.
Tom will say, "Good luck, stay safe, keep your nose out of trouble." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try, he says. And with that, he will depart. He'll disappear into the crowd, and you're able to go back to your little safe area without much else incident.
Sweet.
So, Patrick has the blue card on him. Al, would it be fair to say that you would return to the safe house?
It would be safe to say so indeed.
And you would let the NPCs and Patrick know what happened?
I would indeed, sir.
Okay. So what do you want your next step to be?
Drop the card off under his door.
Okay. We're going to just really narratively deal with that, obviously, because it's you literally dropping a blue card underneath his door at night. Not the hardest thing to do.
And I guess it should be important. It might be important that what Al actually tells him. He would tell everyone that he tried the sweet stuff first, but it didn't take. So Al scared him. And he would also mention that he's a little worried that maybe he scared him a bit too much. But he got the job done. So.
Okay. Patrick, you are informed of this. You still here, Piffy?
Yep.
Okay.
Luckily, I don't have to transfer that to this blue card I'm handing in.
That's true. So yeah, you'll hand it over, and so the next scene is on the next day. Okay. Once again, take a moment before we jet up onto the next scene, and ask you guys if there's anything you want to do, both narratively or in character, before we move on to the next day.
No.
Okay?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. So 2 brief scenes. Oh, not brief. Well, one of them's brief, one not. Okay. So back at the safe house with Tom and Al, at 10 o'clock in the morning, you'll actually get a knock on the door. Who wants to answer it out of you two?
Oh boy, Patrick will do it.
Okay, Patrick, you open the door, and you'll once again find that red crop-topped juicer, female juicer, standing in front of you. She'll give a bit of a smile, and she says, Cal says you did a great job. Cal says he wants to invite you to a party that's going to be held tomorrow. It's at the Pasta Floria. It's going to be, you can show up at 8 o'clock sharp. Dress real nice. Okay?
He turns around. He says, "Give me one second," and he's gonna go to Al.
She's gonna quirk an eyebrow, but she's gonna stay in the threshold.
Al was like in the kitchen or something. Yeah.
We've been invited to a party. Do you want to go to? Oh shoot! What was that place called?
Pasta Floria. Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Pasta Floria. Assuming it's a rave-like area.
Al would stick his head out of the kitchen.
No. She did say to dress nice.
Al would stick his head out of the kitchen to see who's at the door.
It's the red-headed juicer.
And seeing it's her, he would say, still kind of looking at her, he'd say, I'm getting the feeling it's not so much a do I want to go more other than a I should go.
Yeah. If you want to make any sort of headway and not insult the man who's doing you a favor, yeah, you should definitely go.
Do you have any suggestions on where to get said nice clothes?
She says, nah, I'm going to be working muscle at the door, so I don't have to dress nice. And typically I don't go for that frilly shit anyway. You'll have to figure it out on your own. Sorry.
Al will like scratch up his nose and say, lucky, and then stick his head back in the kitchen.
Well, looks like we're going to be there. See you tonight.
Oh, and then when Patrick's back in the kitchen, Al will say, like, just almost absent-mindedly, so I saw a Pegasus yesterday.
I had to... One second now. I need to have our guests... I need to say goodbye to our guests.
She's already down the side.
Yeah, I assumed she had gone. I mean,
you do need to close the door, though. You do need to close the door. She left it
Al
open.
wouldn't know, but he'd assume she left.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick gives a wave to her backside as he closes the door. It goes back. Pegasus.
A Pegasus and some Fury Beetles and one of those things that attacked the behemoth. It looked like a big horn on its nose. It was made out of like a robot, but not. It wasn't a robot. The thing that attacked us was a robot. Anyway, I saw a real one.
Oh, okay. Mm. So I'm
Anyway.
assuming you mean the animal, not the robot part.
Yes. I saw a young, whatever it's called, and a Pegasus, which was stunning. Thought you might be interested, and some horses, and some fury beetles. And there were people arguing about whether fury beetles should be wedding presents.
Patrick blinks a few times.
Al looks a little confused himself.
I barely even know how weddings work. Why would...
I don't know. Maybe you really dislike the other side.
Maybe
that's the only reason I could see giving them a fury beetle.
It might be one of the... you can ride them, maybe?
Al gives a doubtful look. Who would want to ride that?
Patrick looks up. I would... Oh.
Yeah, never mind. Forget I asked. But next time we have some free time, I'll show you. I thought you might be interested in it. The Pegasus was certainly something to see.
I have an abundance of free time. Besides my runs and research, I got most of nothing else to do here.
That's a good point. Shall we go then?
Yeah, maybe we can find something to wear.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't say that part. So Al and Patrick and I guess NPCs go to the stables and shopping?
Okay, sure. I can let you make your own story in regard to the stables if you like. And between this week and next week, you guys can come up with, I don't know, personally some sort of outfit that you think would look snazzy. You know what I mean? For those of you who are fashionistas. And I'll give you a credit. If you are completely lost for ideas, I'll give you some suggestions, okay?
Sure.
Is it okay if I don't role play the NPCs and you two having fun at the stables? Is that all right?
Me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. So the next scene is going to be during the call-in at noon. The stables are definitely busy enough that you guys could probably do the call-in from there and still get a significant amount of background noise if you want. Or you can go back to that same restaurant, the Streetwise Dome, or someplace else. What would you prefer?
I think maybe a different place. Change it up.
Okay.
Actually,
so,
wait, that might be a good idea. What if we did it at the stables?
Okay. Great. So you take some time checking out the exotic animals and having a gay old time, gay as in happy, to call in. Tom, are you going to call in as well?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And when you call in, and everyone once again can confirm they can hear each other and confirm with each other who's present, you can hear when Bailey calls in that she has an excited tone to her voice. But she holds back for a moment and she says, "How did things go yesterday?"
About as well as we could have hoped.
Mm-hmm. So I heard that he came in and changed his testimony, and we haven't seen him since. So I'm assuming he's making his way to Magetown or someplace else, yeah? Mr. Angel Dominic?
You would have to... Yeah, okay.
I do believe I did a good enough job convincing him to go.
Good,
and he was
good.
actually...
And you gave him the money?
Oh, yeah. I gave him the full 60 grand, and he was actually quite baffled when he got it. But
I can imagine, she says. So, anything else? Any other news to report on your end?
Not for me.
Okay.
On our end, apparently Cal was very pleased with our work and has invited us to some sort of party.
Really? She says, and now she sounds even more excited. She says, okay, that's good. That's really good. Cal, I don't know why he's having a party, but that's a good place for you to socialize, get to know other people, right?
That would be a good goal, yeah.
Good, good. We need as much identification as we can about all the players, but, well, we've had one hell of a windfall. A well-suspected member of the same organization that you guys are calling the Black Market, he's died in a hospital after a bar brawl. His name was Clifton Hugh, but his street name was Crazy Eyes. The best thing about this, not the fact that he met an untimely demise, but I was called to the scene, and when he passed on, I was able to make sure it was secret. Crazy Eyes is a pyrokinetic. Andrew, this might be a very good opportunity for us. If I were to get some pictures to you, Brother Colton, would you be able to once again use your illusionary magic to masquerade Andrew? God damn it. Andrew?
Dude, I'm going to stop you right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. We know that
I
these
know.
NPCs, don't stop yourself. Just keep going.
Don't beat yourself up
if you
over
name
it,
Tom.
yeah.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
beat yourself. It's fine.
That's okay. It's okay. It's just my own perfectionist clicking in. She says, would you be able to do this? And Colton takes a long pause for a moment, and he says, yes, this is possible. Although I am concerned of the excitement in your voice over the demise of this young lost soul. Over the phone, you can already hear Bailey McFadden feel a little admonished. She goes, yes, I know. It's just the luck is fantastic, in which the brother replies to, a person passing on before they could redeem themselves or do good is hardly what I would call fantastic. After a tense silence, he then clears his throat and he says, but yes, we can once again assist Mr. Brown with a new guise temporarily. Were you about to say something, Piph?
No.
Oh, okay. So then McFadden pipes up. Once you're in the guise of this Clifton Crazy Eyes fellow, you'll need to get bandaged up like you were recently released from the hospital. And you should probably go to, what was that place you were telling us about? That Confident Heart place. See if you can't pick up any news as that guy. Do you think you could do that for us, Andrew?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, I'll send someone over with photographs right away, and let us know what you find out. Any other details about this party, where it's going to be?
Al would let them know.
Okay. At the Pastafloria?
The Pastafloria.
She says, okay, we're going to get some people on that too. We might need to call on you for help, Edmund. And Edmund says on the channel, I must admit, I've been anxious. I'm more used to be taking an active role. Any help that I can provide will be appreciated. And she says, yeah, we'll figure things out at the Pastafloria first, but wheels are in motion. Important thing is Tom pick up some information. Andrew pick up some information. And is there anything you guys wanted to bring up for the during this radio briefing?
No, I think so.
We're good. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. So they'll end. The call will end. Sure enough, Tom, You notice that a manila envelope is delivered to the Fellowship of the Pure Heart, the followers of the Pure Heart, not the Fellowship, the followers of the Pure Heart, in which Brother Colton and various brothers and sisters pass around photos. They study it. And sure enough, they call on you to once again take your place behind the waterfall. That same buzzing sensation surrounds you. And you emerge as a red-haired, bearded individual with at least, at least 20 different scars on your face, neck, and shoulders.
Neat.
Old healed over scars. In addition, as you look in the reflection of the pool, your eyes, which are a bright green, bulge out of your ocular bone a little bit more than a usual person. Not so much where it's almost cartoony, but it's clear, a lot more white is showing compared to most people.
And with a grimace, he'll say, staring at the reflection, and that's why they call him Crazy Eyes. Yay.
And all the brothers and sisters give a solemn nod at that. The ones who are nearby.
Well,
So,
that's fantastic. Go on.
Oh, I was just about to ask you if you want to head to the Confident Heart first, or if you want to go someplace else. Is old Crazy Eyes.
No, let's just head to the Confident Heart. I'm just supposed to try and get some information, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Then let's do this.
Okay. So once again, you take a cab over to the Confident. Oh, wait. Before you go, the brothers and sisters take some gauze bandages and cover a large part of your head. In fact, most of your hair and your left and around your throat with gauze before setting you off. And as you enter the Confident Heart, which is a little bit later in the day, probably about 1 o'clock or so, and there's still a bit of a lunch rush. But unlike your initial visit as that other illusion, when you step in as Crazy Eyes, Georgette behind the counter calls you over immediately. She says, "Holy shit! Cliff, I heard you got in one hell of a brawl with one of those Yellow Wolverine crew. Are you okay? Come over here, dear."
Tom will go over to the bar and sit down and just say, "I've had better days."
She gives a nod, and you notice that her friendliness is exaggerated. And you notice in her eyes that she's kind of scared of you. Like, she's the type of person who really wants to make you happy, because if you're not happy, oh god, you're gonna burn down her whole place, and she doesn't want that. That type of nervous energy.
Yeah.
She goes, "Wow, I'm glad you're out. Holy cow, you I guess that's another scar for the books, huh?"
Yep.
She says, you should probably meet me around back. There's something I should pass on to you that, it should be for your ears only."
Sure.
Okay. So fair to say you get up, swing around back when you want?
Yeah.
Okay. You have to wait about 5 minutes or so, but Georgette comes out of the staff exit into the alleyway, and still with that kind of nervous look on her, she says, "I was supposed to say, Cal, he's holding a party tomorrow for his birthday, and he says he wants as much muscle as possible. I don't know if you're up for it, but apparently he's going to pay really well. He needs some extra protection, and goodness knows you're probably one of the toughest people here
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
city.
yeah, yeah,
Is that
yeah.
something you?
How much?
Okay, all right. It's going to be about 10 grand for the night.
All right. It's gonna be where again?
It's going to be at the Pasta Floria. You're supposed to show up about 7 o'clock.
All right.
Oh,
Mm.
uh, she pauses for a moment. She says, "Just so you know, this is out of my control, but I hear that Kelly Phantom's going to be there. You're not going to have a problem with her, are you?"
He's going to stare at her menacingly for a bit.
Yeah, forget I said anything. Take care, hon, she says as she quickly exits the staff, the back into the staff entrance.
All right. So I got invited. Whee!
There you go. So, this is where I'm going to hold off my rapid pace of the narrative right now. I'm thinking next session we'll start with a small bit of organization before the party, but clearly all the group is going to be able to converge onto this event together, which will be really fun under different guises and whatnot and different
Yep.
roles. But we'll all be there, which is great. But before I wrap up the session specifically, is there any little bit of narrative stuff? Unfortunately, Piph, we haven't done a lot that's of real interest to you. Is there anything you think Patrick would really want to do in downtime that we can spend the next 20 or 30 minutes on, exploring or anything like that? Anything you're really craving to do, or any of the other players?
There's a few things I had in mind,
Okay.
but I'm not entirely sure if I can really get my hands on pretty much any of that.
Well, you know what? You don't know until you ask, so lay it on me, dude.
So, way back when we went through the whole Tyrath business, there was a small book of, I believe, light beings or something like that.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Holy shit. Yeah. Beings of light. Mm-hmm.
That would most likely be like either in the light room or the behemoth, and I'm not quite sure if I have access to either one of those things.
Oh, yeah, because Tom wasn't able to give you... Okay, we're going to say, for the sake of narrative control, it's going to be in the behemoth. Maybe the last time you went into the golden place before you guys actually arrived in Tolkien, you fetched it because you want some reading material in your bedroom or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the behemoth is parked slightly outside Tolkien, but you're able to get access to it. You just go through a security zone, get the book, and come back. So I'm going to say you do have access to that book, yes.
Fantastic. I have been looking high and low for that particular book. I'm not quite sure if I really got material for that, physically.
You did back
okay.
As a player.
Yeah,
I remember giving you a big copy paste of stuff, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it must have not been over Skype. It must have been through Roll20 because I cannot find this thing.
Okay, well let me fetch that for you. You're gonna have to give me a few minutes to do some copy paste stuff.
In general, he's now with a much new aspect on life and things like that. He's probably going to take an actual good look at what these beings do, where they come from. Basically, just study up on them as an actual thing that he may encounter one day, instead of just something that would be cool to look at and go wow, that's That certainly is a really interesting being that I've never heard of. He might actually
Okay. So I'm going to be slightly, just because I don't have a lot of time to get you the information to edit everything.
Yeah.
Some of the information that I'm going to copy paste and give to you is out of character stuff like attributes and MDC and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'm going to just trust you to just take the stuff in character that you would know
Right.
and go from there. Make sense?
Yes.
Fair enough?
Yes.
So let me just make a new doc. Wait a second. I might even have an old document that says Spirits of Light. Give me a moment. Because I know I gave this to you. I know I've done this exact same thing before.
Let me.
I don't mind, though. Past
I'm ready.
session. Sphere ability.
Here we go.
You do have it?
I pretty much just need to figure out where the flip the name is. How old is this thing? This was almost 2 years ago.
Yep. Yep. That sounds about right. So you did find the document?
I did, yes. Thank you.
Oh, great. Hey, well, there you go. Yeah, it was called Spirits of Light. Well, then, there you go. Anything else?
Not entirely, no.
It sounds like you have something planned now. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm excited. I like it when the cogs in your head turn because I never know what to fucking expect.
Would you say that there's more information than like out of this it's just like the person's name and then it's just like this is their physical detail in like 2 sentences.
I love Patrick's suit, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. So you're just asking for more information on the Spirits of Light?
Yeah, I mean, if it's just that, I could probably still work with that. Just wondering if there's more.
Yeah. Well, I can create more content for you, no problem. But you'll have to give me over the week to do so.
Absolutely.
But you just give me a little poke as a reminder, but I can create more. I can flesh that out more for you, sure.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. It actually will be fun. Put my own little fingerprints on it. Okay. Okay. I'll offer this now to Tom and Al as we wrap up. Anything you guys really want to get done, or any questions for me, or something during this time period that maybe you thought about and didn't have a chance to bring it up since we were going at such a breakneck speed between objective and objective?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Would it be safe to say that I recovered my ISP?
Yes, easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Then I'm
I
good.
do have
all the time that you've rested and meditated. Sorry. What's up, Piph?
I do have one inquisitive question.
Sure.
Would it be okay to if you wanted to fill the time with a Q&A, because there seems to be a few here?
Yeah, sure. No, definitely. That's a great idea. Yeah, if everyone was done, we can definitely spend the next 20 minutes answering some questions. Okay, guys, so we'll do a little Q&A.
Yeah, sure.
We'll definitely do a Q&A now at the end. And now, since this is a current session, we can answer pretty much anything you guys want to know, as long as it's relevant to the campaign or our characters. It's not like what my favorite color is, which is red, by the way.
Mine is sky blue.
Why wouldn't the police read Tom's mind for info on the black market? They would get props, names, safe homes, blah, 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 blah. So first of all, that's assuming that the police have access to a mind probe that deep. Secondly, well, I'm going to just say this. Reading someone's mind is one of the most personal and invasive things you can do. Do you think the free city of Tolkien would do that pell-mell? Yeah. And if you can get the information from Tom, wouldn't it be better if he surrendered the information personally rather than probing someone's brain without their consent?
Yeah.
Also,
Plus Tom.
Little,
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, also, a little heads up, since he's a psionic, It's gonna be a little hard to probe that thing.
Yeah,
Tom also has mind block.
Yeah, he has mind block, and he's also a master psionic. So
Not only that, but once again, just some names and some safe homes is a great start, but they need in-depth, detailed information about big parts of this business. Right now, before the group started this investigatory period where they agreed to do this, they knew what? They knew 4 people's names, a 1 business front, a restaurant that they go to, and a warehouse that was burned down.
yeah.
You're not going to shut down anyone with that. That is not nearly enough evidence.
Not to mention, speaking of evidence, a mind probe is literally just one person finding out this stuff, whereas actually getting information through, like, writing stuff down or verbally where you can record it is a lot more damning. Because now it's not just based off of one person's word and what they saw, which they can be completely biased and say something completely different. You have their written testimony or their spoken testimony.
So, sorry, we don't mean to sound a little demeaning with that answer, because that is a natural question. In a land where there are psychics and telepathic spells, wouldn't that be an easier way? But hopefully those answers give you an idea that, at least for ethical reasons and for practical reasons, mind reading doesn't always solve all the problems. It can be a useful tool, a really useful tool. But maybe not. Maybe it needs to be a little bit more detailed in this situation.
And it might not be the most legal.
Yeah. Cobra Gladiator, this is a military uniform. You just tricked me into looking at a military uniform. Boo. Boo.
Let's see, what is each person's character current opinion on Tyrath?
He's an ally.
He hasn't killed us yet.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to make him mad, but at the same time, we enjoy having them around. At least from my point of view.
I think Patrick's current thoughts on Tyrath is he likes his new digs. It's very nice.
Even though Criana isn't here, I will admit one thing that she said to me in jest. I don't know how much of a joke it was, but she's like, "I think Tyrath is going to be the end boss." I'm like, I don't have end bosses in my game.
One day he's gonna be sick of our shit.
No, I would never do something that blatant to you guys. I'm gonna just keep playing Tyrath as Tyrath. That's it.
Mr. Bloodstone 99, do you have a plan or want to play different tabletop RPGs other than Rifts and 13th Age on the PSYLP channel? If so, do you have any systems in mind? Not that both aren't awesome and great to watch.
Personally, I would love to do just a quick, fun little one-shot Call of Cthulhu game. Just to try.
It'd have to be one shot.
It
have
would.
to be one shot, yeah.
Because, oh my god, that system, you can die so easily.
I kind of like the idea of doing some one-shots or 1 or 2 shots, and we do have a... Well, I mean, I guess it's not really a spoiler of any way or shine to let you guys know that our Corsairs group, we're kind of thinking about things like that. Because since we do Corsairs maybe once a month, if people clear their schedule and then some people don't make it, instead of like wasting the night, we're thinking about having backup plans just to have some fun. So we might do something like that. Just try out some neat systems.
Yeah, and a one-shot might be a good way for example, Piph to try out DMing in a pretty safe environment, too.
Yeah.
Here's a completely new system. Have fun.
No, well, you don't have to do a one-shot in a new system. You could do just a one-shot, right? And other people can worry about new systems.
Dragon Ball Z.
That is true.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I just saw a question, and I was intrigued. I thought you were done. My bad.
No, it's no big deal. Aren't mind probes legal, though? IHT. It depends on the government.
Yeah.
And yes, the free city does have a king. Isn't that interesting? I find that interesting. There's reasons for that, too.
What OCC would your character be if they played Rifts?
Oh wow, that's like super.
That's
That is like a game within a game.
we're going into the Matrix,
So-
guys.
Are you telling me that if I chose a character that was Patrick, and then Patrick chose a character that was somebody
Mhm.
else,
Yes.
what
Yes.
would Patrick play
Yes.
as?
Let me answer for the NPCs if I can. Bear would play Wilderness Scout. August would play a rogue scientist because he thinks he knows everything and he wants the world to know. Vagabond. Alicia would play a juicer because she wants to be badass and she doesn't give a fuck. And Blink would probably play a Cyber Knight.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Not that necessary that Blink is a bit about law and order, right?
Mhm.
She is clearly about doing the right thing. I don't know if she actually is the same code of chivalry, right? But she was impressed by the real Cyber Knight, so she would probably want to play one of them.
Neat.
Because he's the first person outside the group who said, we need to stop these people, which is something that she's been saying ever since she found out what the black market really was.
Yeah. That is true. As for Tom, I have no idea. Other than maybe a Glitter Boy pilot.
How about you, Squee?
Trying to think.
I would play a doctor.
Yeah.
I would play a cyber dog. You'd be like, wait a second. In this system, I could just play a doctor. That'd be fine. I didn't have to be a badass. No, you could just be a doctor.
Wait. Hold on.
I was trying to find like something else he would play, but
You mean that I don't have to spend the time and effort that I did to actually learn all this shit, and I could just
pretend I know
roll? Are you kidding me?
because I mean, some people want to role play to be who they always wanted to be, but Al's kind of there, so he would just play a doctor.
Mila would be a ludicrous mage. Yep.
Oh my god, yeah. Or Mila, I don't know. You have to ask each of her personalities. We'll have to ask her when we talk to Criana next.
So, I don't think you're gonna like my answer.
What?
Patrick would not play.
Oh man.
That breaks my heart a little bit, but that's okay. I get it.
It is the same reason why he doesn't particularly play or would think that he would enjoy video games.
Yep.
Yeah.
His other things. Knowledge is his entertainment.
This is not knowledge. This is just stuff.
Yeah.
Time waster.
Exactly.
Okay,
I think Patrick doesn't want to waste his time.
We're captured by Tyrath, and he forces us to put on.
And Tyrath is the GM. Oh my god, we should do a one-shot with me as Tyrath as the GM.
Oh god.
Oh my god, we
And
should
us
totally...
as players playing.
Yes. Oh fuck, that'd be a fun gag like April Fool's thing, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Oh, we got to do that. We've got to do that. That
And
would
it would
so
be
fun.
completely hilarious if
By
Criana
the
were to play
end-
like 3 different characters. Like one for the Nora, one for the Mila, and one for the Mariah.
Oh my
Like
God,
Mila would
yes.
be like a ludicrous mage or something like that, and Nora would be like a Borg.
Yeah. So, Jasmine, yes. I mean, I can personally say that I am still having fun. I said it a little bit earlier on. It has been 2 years, and not a single week goes by where I regret doing this. I love thinking about this. I love playing this. I love talking with you guys. I love interacting with all the people here. I never want this to end, frankly. And I have no intention on making it end anytime soon. As long as there are players who are willing to play this, we're going to keep fucking going, baby.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's already Rift Cthulhu's. They're they're very apparent in the game.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Splugorth?
Yeah, I don't know.
I hear they like tourism.
I would not say they're on the same level, but they're
Mm-mm.
close.
They're close. They're pretty scary.
Yeah, like you see the stats of a Splagorth, and you're like, yeah, not Cthulhu, but pretty close.
There's some pretty spoopy stuff out there in Rift that are very Cthulhu-esque. That was clearly inspired by H.P. Lovecraft.
Dude,
when they
Cobra,
made it up.
we don't know.
What?
Inferno, would Cal be okay with a guest wearing this strange foreign military uniform?
What?
Cal? Who's Cal?
Proposition Cal.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That's such a
But we're not going to
random
be.
question.
No, I don't
Seems like an
know.
odd question.
I honestly don't know since it won't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, homie. I would raise a few eyebrows, I guess. He'd probably be like, "Is this what is color dressing nice for you from?" But I don't think he'd throw them out.
Military uniforms in my birthday party? Nonsense!
Hmm
What kind
People
of
really
world-
like the idea. Yeah, people really like the idea of me playing Tyrath and you playing as players, playing characters. We should really do that. Just as
Oh my
it doesn't even have
gosh.
to be April Fools. We don't have to wait till April to do it. We could just do it.
I would
It's a
have to
fun thing.
actually put a lot more. Like, I
Mhm.
legitimately, Patrick would not play.
But in order to make it happen, I think Tyrath, though, what Squee said is right, Tyrath would force you to.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like in order for payment for one of the things that he's done for us, he wants to run an experiment.
Yes!
You know,
Oh
you
my
can.
God.
You
Yeah.
can do this.
He wants to run an
I
experiment.
went
Part of
back
the
in time
favor.
and found these books.
It wouldn't.
would
It wouldn't
be-
even have to be April Fool's. It could be like a Christmas special or something.
Yeah.
See,
Because, I
here-
mean, if time and dimensions are infinite, Tyrath would go to a dimension where this game would exist. Oh my god, my brain. And he'd bring it back and force you to play. See if
What?
it would drive you mad.
I wonder. I might need to change my OCC because I just thought of something really hilarious. What if like everybody reveals their OCCs like I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, and then Blink goes I'm a Cyber Knight, then Tom goes I'm a Cyber Knight. What?
Double side.
You copied me.
In that game, though, I wouldn't play the 4 NPCs as well.
Mm.
They wouldn't get to play. That would be way too confusing. Way
True.
too confusing. And just so, in case people are listening and they can't hear the chat, someone asked what Patrick's IQ is, and it is 180. He is a genius, certifiable.
He's borderline autistic. That's mean.
No. That's people are making it sound like he's a savant or something like that. He's socially awkward. That doesn't mean he's autistic. Yes.
I
IQ.
I play him socially awkward because one of my stats is low, and I wanted to make sure that it reflects that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sonic Hedgehog misses Killian. Well, I can say this: if or when the party ever goes back to orbit, there's a good chance they're going to come across Killian again.
Yeah.
Very
Dun,
good
dun,
chance.
dun.
Mhm.
I don't care so much about Killian. I like that detective.
Yeah, that detective
there's
was
a really
cool
good
guy.
There's a really good chance you'll come across him too. I already
I
thought
mean,
about all
dude,
sorts
we
of stuff.
we left that place in a goddamn mess.
We get back to orbit, and there's just signs everywhere. Have you seen the Baron? We really need him.
If you remember, we were like, okay, we're from Earth. You guys figured it out. Here's our friend. He's taking us home, okay? And then out of nowhere, the Baron disappears. So he's left with all of his crew still there going, what the fuck? Then Killian gets home and goes, what the fuck?
You know,
They
Killian
did
hasn't
what?
even gotten home yet.
He's
Killian's
not even
still like
technically
what,
home yet.
2 months?
2 months away, yeah.
Oh,
away or something?
3 months and 2
Yeah.
weeks. You guys haven't been in Ishbimming and Tolkien that long. Maybe 2.5 weeks.
How long have we been
Maybe.
on Earth? Since
You've been
since
on
we
Earth
got
for
back.
about 13 days. You've been on Earth for
13 days.
13 days.
2
I've been keeping
weeks.
track for good reason.
Good. I need to keep track too, because in a month and 2 weeks is that date we were talking about. Is Tom's birthday in a month and
Dodge your
2 weeks.
question. Dodging your question. Why is the black market is so mean to the group bullying, making them do dirty work and destroying their property even though they got the best package? Okay.
So I can understand the whole destruction of the camera thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of a big thing.
It's
The dirty work thing is kind of confusing because,
No.
like...
Oh, okay. Oh, no, go ahead. You tell me why it's confusing, and I'll tell you why my logic
like-
behind it.
like Trilby has described, we are supposed to be the customers, and we got the best
Yep.
package, the premium. So,
Uh-huh.
I mean, are we supposed to get our hands dirty?
Well, see, here's the thing. You guys chose to get your hands dirty. You guys, out of the blue, said, we're going to solve this problem for you, Killian, and kill this Cyber Knight. He never asked you to do that. He never did. The last time you talked to him, he handed you over that encrypted data and wished you on your way. You guys brought that possible problem to the black market's doorstep. And you guys said, we're going to solve this problem for you, Cal.
Yeah, I was going to go with too.
Yeah.
The super duper package doesn't include breaking friends out of jail, I would think.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. But
Favor
that's
for a
the
favor and all
big
that.
point, which is the party decide to do this to get on Cal's good side, right? And so in order to get on Cal's good side, he's going to want to make sure he can trust you. In order to make sure he can trust you, he wants to make sure you can clean up the mess you started. I think that's incredibly logical, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Blood9 asked, what's the character's highest and lowest stat? Well, Tom's highest stat is his mental endurance of 23. And his lowest stat is his physical beauty, which is 11. A little bit above average.
Al's highest stat is his ability to tell temperature. It's incredibly high. It's like a 20,
my God.
26. That's why, like in the Behemoth, he's always like, "Did you touch the thermostat?" No, Al's highest, I think, is his mental affinity. I don't have my sheet open right now, but I think it's his mental affinity and then his PP. And his lowest stat would be
Speed?
no.
No,
speed.
you boosted your speed
Yeah,
again.
I boosted my speed up. I think it's his endurance. Or his,
Yeah,
his mental endurance is pretty bad.
It is mental endurance. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Because you keep wanting to buff it up. Although Leon's blessing to you did help with that too.
Indeed.
Oh, I suppose it's my turn.
Mhm.
So, Patrick is not such a high roller as these fine gentlemen, and his highest stat is an 18, which is his IQ. Oh, wait, no, it's a speed, which is a 19.
And your lowest?
His physical beauty at a 7.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it kind of is. I think it gets down to, like, when you get to 4, you can actually, like, physically repulse people.
Yep. Bingo. I'm not going to say all the NPCs, but I am going to say this. August's highest stat is intelligence, but it's not as high as Patrick's. Patrick technically has a higher IQ than August.
That's super cool.
Don't tell him that.
I know, I won't. I found that really funny, actually, that August Keach, Mr. Know-It-All, isn't the smartest in the group, even though he likes to think he is. Who would win an arm wrestling match between Alicia and Al? My money's on Alicia.
My money's on Alicia too. I think Al's physical strength is not that impressive. I think it's a 12 or 13, something like that.
Yeah.
And Alicia can fire a freaking grenade launcher one-handed while holding a mad squirrel.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got quite a bit of her
So-
strength back after she was saved from the witchling.
All right. Well, I think that I think one or two questions.
Sure. Yeah, a few
Let's
more
go with
questions and then we should wrap up.
Stanchgate. which was, what's the chance of the party going to Wormwood?
As good of a chance as anywhere else. In fact, I've already I've already interwoven, because I've recently read all of Wormwood, and I think it's pretty cool.
Mhm.
I've already woven possible information dumps to let the players know what's around, and if there's a certain permanent rift that's open in a nearby area. And if they want to poke their heads in and check things out, it's all up to them. Really, I could pick them up and drop them off somewhere. And if they ever have to go to some sort of temporary area for whatever reason, Wormwood is definitely one of them ways I'd whisk them away to. But so I'd say that the odds are as equal as any other dimension. Yeah, Wormwood's pretty neat. It's like a living planet. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I haven't
I've
actually
read a
looked into
little
it.
bit about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've read a wee bit.
I don't roll the NPC stats Stanchgate. I fix them. I decide what they are, because I think what's be realistic for them. August is a modified version of a street rat, with more skills and less street smarts. Alicia is a slightly modified version of a bounty hunter, because she never officially... A lot of her skill set is how she was raised was help with the bounty hunter, but she doesn't identify as a bounty hunter as her job, clearly.
Yeah.
I just use that class as a base for her. Perrin isn't based on a class. Perrin's just a non... Well, no, Perrin doesn't have a class, but I haven't rolled a sheet for him. Oh, people can't hear anything.
No, it's just IHTFP.
Okay. If I remember correctly, Perrin is an ex... what is it? Fucking... Oh, what's the word? Oh, not mercenary. Fucking... It's one of the main classes in... main man-at-arm classes in the base book. Half with cybernetics.
Bored?
Headhunter.
Headhunter.
No, Headhunter, that's what it is. He's an ex-headhunter turned into a rogue trader.
Neat.
My favorite Rift class, if I'm forced to pick a favorite, is Mind Melter. I think the Mind Melter was my first class I ever picked. I think they are so fucking cool.
Yeah.
My favorite is Ludicrous Mage.
I can believe that.
I'm not sure I have a favorite.
Yeah, a lot of them are really fun.
Yeah. I have a lot of favorites, but I don't have one specific one.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at all the classes and I go, that'd be fun to play. That'd be fun to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Like,
I think Vagabonds would be fun
Okay.
to play. I'd love to make a Vagabond class.
Actually, I have to think about it. Not so much the class, but everything involved. I can't say. Inferno, you would know, but there is an NPC I made one time that dealt with robots a bit. That would be really, really fun to play.
what do you mean dealt with robots?
I can't say. Because it may be for another campaign or something that I don't want to say anything for, so I can't say. But Inferno, I think you understand.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I do understand. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's.
I know that's a horrible answer, but it
is
did occur to me
horrible.
that I think that would be, and I'll tell you what, if and when it ever comes to fruition, I'll at least say that's what I was talking about. But I think that'd be a brilliant fun to play.
Oh, I'll come to fruition too.
Uh,
We're not going to answer Trilby's question. That's passive aggressive. Boo, Trilby,
yeah,
boo.
that's kind of mean.
They don't burn bridges. They solve problems on their terms.
Because you
characters-
gotta make room for the behemoth to get across.
right? Most
There you
bridges
go.
don't have the weight capacity.
Let's
that's
end it
exactly
on
it.
this last question. Thoughts on characters with superpowers in Rifts?
I think it's more than fine. I think it fits in just fine. I mean, when you have psychics and magic users and superhuman people, I think a couple superpowers is almost like it's almost air differentiated from mutated. I mean, some people could argue that superpowers are just mutations, right?
Mhm.
And X-Men, that sort of stuff. And considering like Mutants in Orbit was all about crazy superpower mutant mutations. Yeah, I think if any system can, other than a superhero system, deal with superpowers, it's Rifts because it can handle everything. It's insane. I can't believe they make it work. I really can't, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
Some of
It's
the
amazing.
superpowers are really neat.
Mm-hmm.
So, superpowers, normal people, gods, whatever like that. As Inferno said, it can support them all, but I think the main thing is just like it's whatever flavor you want your campaign, and it will actually
Yes.
reflect that, and to not only reflect that, actually make the environment around them reflect real people to gods as well. Like there is that scope of different people that are around you, and that's for whatever character you play. It still has that world of that giant scope from like the tiniest thing to the freaking the Splagorth and beyond.
Mhm. Yeah, it's all about relative. The party right now could walk into, I'd say about 70% of civilizations and be considered superpower godlike beings. Fact is that most of their environments have been in cities or in space or in amazing areas, right? But people need to realize that most people in North American rifts live on small communal villages living very simple lives. High technology itself is rare, let alone amazing powers and abilities, right? Most people, if they stumble across a behemoth that aren't a part of a major city or the adventuring life, would be astounded by it.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think that's where we're going to have to end it because I'm getting really hungry. Inferno needs to go to sleep.
Yeah, so I can start my job tomorrow.
So
Yeah,
have
good
a good
luck with that.
night, guys.
Thank you.
Take
Good
care,
night.
everybody.
Bye-bye.